Hello. How is everyone this fine Tuesday evening? It's the last week in July. August is around the corner. And by that basis, we're not that far away from... Are we technically in autumn? When does autumn start? When does autumn end? When does the summer end? I have no idea. It's been lovely and cool and like around 20 degrees for the last week and a half, and I have completely and utterly lost any sense of the seasons. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone has had a wonderful weekend. I'd love to know about it if you have. I mean, I'd love to know about it if you've had an awful weekend as well. I mean, I appreciate people probably don't want to dwell on an awful weekend, so maybe the happier ones are better, but nonetheless, I'd love to hear from you guys. How is everyone? Let's say hello to these glorious, beautiful people who have already peeked from behind the keyboards tonight, because we have the glorious, the wonderful, the DN bassist, the DN bassist. What a gentleman he is, considering perhaps going to the Gene-filled Swifts game, even though it clashes with the Rangers game, which I think would be a fine idea. We have Zeratrul as well, whose first week back at work after the summer holiday, and everything as a result is a little bit wank. I get that. But just think of all the good times that you've had having a nice long holiday. Ignore the bit with the in-laws up north, but the rest of it was quite nice. So that's the bit that matters, right? That's the bit to cling on to until the next holiday, however months down the line. We have Grizzly P in. Welcome in, who's got to go back into the office 2 days this week. Boo! Now, he asks some exciting questions. Should roles be abolished from Football Manager? Should sliders come back? Should there be a blank slate centre-back role? I mean, I've already answered. I've said no, and yes. I haven't thought it through. I don't have any justification for any of those answers. But why not let us know what you think? And we also have Crodmo in. Welcome in, Crodmo. How are you doing, sir? We have GNG in. We have Willems in as well. Lovely to see you all. Really appreciate you being here. We also, as we were going live, there were a couple of other people that popped in. We've got a little bit of busy Baron. How you doing, Baron? Lovely to see you. We've got Coativa as well. And we've got a Bill Houdini. It is lovely to see you all. Now, if you guys don't head on over to the SI forums, I strongly recommend doing so, because Bill Houdini has started a new blog there for his current save, and everything that Bill Houdini writes is worth a read. He could scrawl some truly shocking abusive messages on bathroom, on public toilet walls, and it would still be worth a read, I can tell you that. You're pausing your Randy the Macho Man Savage binge for the Musterman. Oh, I hope I can live up to expectations. I am no Randy the Macho Man, but I can at times sometimes be Savage the Randy Man. But that's a very different group of individuals that I said. We'll stop there. Musterman, like the proverbial cream, has once again risen to the top of your priorities. Bless you. That is too kind. But scum also floats. That, however, is more accurate. Shall I get you guys up to date with what's been going on with AC Milan then? Let's head on over to the game, because we are about to start our new season. Last stream, we got to the Club World Cup semi-finals, where we absolutely hammered Manchester City. In just 15 minutes, we generated something like 1.3 XG, but we couldn't score. And then we put up an exceptionally awful penalty display shootout that is probably worth forgetting, to be completely frank with you. That excellent 15 minutes was at the beginning of extra time. We had a lot of chances, we didn't take them, and so we failed to win yet another trophy. We are serial chokers. But it's okay, because we've got some friendlies out the way, and we start our new Serie A season. It's our third season with AC Milan. We have finished runners-up in both of them to our intercity rivals, Inter. We will open up with a home game against Lazio, away against Fiorentina, away against Juventus. Juventus, incidentally, who have just been put into administration. So we are currently scouting their youth teams to see if there are maybe some players for the future that we could look at poaching. And during the little time off stream, so we got up to the Furel Pisalo game. We played that on the last stream. I've played the Dynamo Zagreb game and Brescia game off stream.
It's not the statistics. You tell me. How do you measure Sanchez somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle.
Oh, Bill, bless you, sir. We subscribed for 8 months. That is incredible. That is ridiculous. It is very much appreciated. I was making you blush. I mean, it's all true, though. It's all true. Savage the Randy Man. That's what we're going with. That's what we're going with. Welcome in Night of Nia as well. And we've got a little bit of Hungdom in. Lovely to see you all. It's wonderful, wonderful to have you guys in. We've also got Martian. Good evening. And hopes everyone in chat has a good day. I hope you're having a good day as well. How's your weekend, sir? It's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. So Grizzly gets why some people would want sliders back, but that would make the game breaking even easier than it is right now, and I don't want that. I agree with you, Grizzly. I like the roll approach. I think is a really, really good way of. I mean, the sliders still technically exist, don't they? They're just hidden behind the surface. They're put in a way that by making changes to your mentality and your other settings, along with your selection of roles, essentially controls those sliders without being quite so granular, which I'm quite a fan of. I am quite a fan of. Welcome in, by the way, Milos. Lovely to see you, and Orem. Wonderful to see you as well. So Orem says you noticed you only made one Moneyball clinic in Italy. Well, I think it's an interesting league. May I suggest a rebuild of Inter? They have a Precambrian squad. I'm curious how you'd handle a big club like you did with Chelsea. All the best. Thank you very much for the suggestion. Now, Inter will certainly not be on the cards for FM24 because they start the game. They are clearly the best team in the league. There isn't any real challenge to it. Now, for FM26, that might be a very, very different proposition altogether. I mean, one of the reasons why there aren't other Moneyball Clinic videos is we did do the very first streaming series was in Italy using a Moneyball approach. But yes, I would like to do some more Italy stuff in due course. So, yeah, whilst we've been away, we also managed to sign one more player. So I decided to do a quick little search. I popped in over to my scouted players and I asked for players that were aged at most 19 and EU nationals. I was going through the positions, but I was looking at all positions basically. And a gentleman called Dominic Ursand came up. He's young, so we didn't have much information about him. He's not been playing first team football. So we were just focusing on the report side of things. They reckon he's got decent potential. He's got a light-hearted and jovial character. From an attribute standpoint, he seems to be reasonably well-rounded. He's good technique, good bravery. He's short. He's 5'5", but a player that potentially he's 18 currently. We could potentially have him become homegrown in Italy, maybe. And there's a small chance that he could be someone we look at in the future, but we're talking 2-3 years down the line. Sadly, we haven't had any luck selling Anita Hammer, to the extent that we've put him up for loan as well. So he is currently in discussions with a number of clubs to join them on loan for the season, and we'll hope that maybe a season out on loan, playing regularly, might increase that interest in a transfer down the line, because the teams that were interested in transfers, teams like Sassuolo, teams like Fiorentina, claimed they didn't have the funds at the time to be able to make bids. At 60,000 euros per week, and 30 million euros is not that expensive a player. So hopefully another 6 months down the line will be worth it. And we haven't been able to get anyone to bid for Alexander Isak. So Alexander Isak will stay, I imagine, for the season. We're going to keep him transfer listed. We'll see how things go. We do, however, have injury to Sydney Osazua. So Sydney Osazua, we signed him for, what was that, 12 million? 21 million, sorry, this summer. And over the course of the last 6 years, he's had 8 injuries. So less than 2 injuries per year. The longest injury in that time was 2 weeks. And he's managed to break his toe and he's going to be out for about 4 weeks for us. And that's his second injury in barely 2 months as an AC Milan player. So he's going to be out for a little while, which means we're going to give Rafalskis, one of our other new signings, 5 million euros from Roma, a 19-year-old advanced forward. He's going to be our starting striker for the time being, with Skamaka on the bench, and obviously Isak's going to be around as well, potentially. So Marshall, your weekend was okay. The only bad thing was that your dog ran off with your cigar and dropped it in his water bowl. Oh dear. Oh dear. Or He's just a dog with impeccable taste. So Desamo prefers the labels controlling the sliders rather than the arbitrary adjustment. I agree with you completely, Desmano. Welcome in, by the way. Randy the Savage Man, welcome in. Welcome in. Lovely to see you, my dude. So, dear basis, if you weren't skint until tomorrow, this would be an instant gift stuff. Wouldn't it just? Wouldn't it just? So Aram understands. Thank you very much. Even with the 24-25 squad, they remain too strong. The Everton series is amongst your favourite videos on YouTube. That's so good. And so we do. The next one is going to be carrying on within the Familiar Cown save. So we're going to be looking very specifically at one player, but then doing another season down. We might see how we go through with that as that one progresses. I'm currently playing that in the background at the moment. So we're about 6 months through the second season, done all the looking into progressive passes, and I'm noticing that wages are starting to become an issue. All the players want massive wage rises, so potentially there's going to be maybe a 3 or 4 season series to it.
It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, JNG has come in with a gift sub to Randy the Savage Man. What a gentleman you are. What an absolute gentleman you are. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. So yeah, the Familiar Count series is certainly going on for at least another season. It might even be going on for another 2 or 3. We'll see. We'll see what comes around. As those that are in regularly will know, I like to let the saves themselves kind of dictate how long they go. You know, we will follow the narrative. We will let the game push it in a direction, and if it feels like something that's worth pushing on to a 3rd episode and a 4th episode, then we certainly will. Right, let's head on in to the game at home against Lazio, our first game of the season. Hopefully we can set the tone right from the off. There are only one new player into the starting lineup. It is Rafalskis, and we'll see how we go. They've got Halseth and Ipan. Beautiful stuff. Let's see. So is Imsand pacey? He's not slow. Knight of Knee. So he's got good acceleration, good pace, not elite. But we play with a supporting fullback. Our right-hand side is a little bit more defensive, so I think that he could really work quite nicely in that sense. It's an early chance there. And it was almost an own goal for Monterisi from the looks of things. Right, Bursma with the corner. He's going to swing it in with that left foot in at the near post. Kiwa manages to come away with it. Feeds Johnson, who absolutely blazes it over. If I recall, Brennan Johnson did finish as top scorer last season. I want to get this back onto extended highlights. For the friendlies, I've moved it down to key highlights. Right, it's now our turn for a corner. It's going to be Arda Güler. We've got our players attacking from the edge of the box, and there's Monterisi to give us the lead. Boom, 1-0. Monterisi scores our first goal of the season. And we've got another chance from another set piece. Monterisi feeds Bonato. Is the flag stayed down? Is there any question marks about it? They are reviewing it. It's flickering, and the goal stands. That replay suggested he was offside, even though graphically we could see a defender deeper. So it looks like we've got away with one despite VAR. This is the kind of luck we need. Welcome in, by the way, Francis. Lovely to see you, my dude. I love the way you play FM. Thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoy it. You know, I find it after many years of playing the game, sometimes it's nice to have a different approach. Right, Mr. Grizzly P says, Sir, Nita must be giving you the best that he got for now. I see what you did there. Giving you the best that I got is Michael Jordan's pre-game music. I did not know that. Fabulous fact there. Right, 2-0 is flattering. But we do seem to have had the better of the game so far. We're going to say that I think you can do better. And we're going to reinforce that with our halftime team talks. And we're going to bring off the booked player. So on comes Bernie Arse for his debut. We will say to him, have fun. Enjoy yourself out there, Bernie. So I really like the multi-season ones. Dortmund was great too. Familiar sounds very promising. Absolutely, no, there's more coming. That's good, mate. Welcome in, by the way, our dear Les. Lovely to see you. Are you named that way because you are a fan of Tottenham's famous Argentinian, the scorer of the greatest FA Cup goal, allegedly, as long as you don't include Ryan Giggs' one in the equation? Here come Lazio, straight from kickoff. Bersma trying to create some space, being hounded well by Doner Kebab out wide in those wide areas. But they managed to keep it. Doner Kebab, does he make a foul? He gets away with it if he does. And Atabolo has to come out, push it behind. We are barely a minute into the second half, and Lazio certainly upping their game. We managed to get it clear. Here's Vetlesen. Back to Johnson. Johnson across. He's offside. It's all good, though. Willems, did he just try Ramona? I missed that. Evidently, I missed that. Oh, that was a weird bit of camera work there. Right, Kiwa into Alex Val. Val skips inside, feeds Motta. He's going to lose out to Nuama, though. Nuama, there's 3 players around him. Can he keep it? He can indeed. He plays it inside to Bonato. Bonato, he goes for the shot rather than a cut back, and it's blocked behind for a corner. A third goal early on in the second half would certainly make me feel a little bit more relaxed. There we go, to the edge of the box, to the marked man. This is one thing I'd really like to see in future FMs, is conditional set pieces. If this happens, then play short. If that happens, then play it to the edge of the box and so forth, rather than just having to set them up and occasionally they go, yeah, I'll just cross it to the marked man. That's a sensible thing to do. Right, we are going to drop the tempo a little bit. Let's have a bit more control. And we're going to... I think it might be Raskin time. Let's give Raskin his debut. And we might also give Gianni Ricci his chance out there as well. Ricci is one of our youth players. He's finally making his breakthrough into the first team proper. Hopefully, he's going to be taking over the place of Carl Palmer, who we sold to Saudi Arabia for a whole €4 million profit after one season. Right, Bersma does well to intercept, gets it clear, but Monterisi steps out of defence. Asked to Raskin. Raskin on as a substitution. It's a save, but Rafalskis is there on his debut. Boom, there we go. It's Carrick managing Lazio. Crazy, isn't it? Crazy. We're going to win the fucking league, says DMB. It's fate. It's surely going to be the way, as Monterisi almost gets a second. Attacks the ball from deep, but his glancing header just wide of that far post. Right, before the 74th minute, our next changes. We're going to give it a debut to Lucas Roman, I think. We're going to be Lucas Roman and then possibly Pizza Pasta. Well, actually, we're not. We're going to bring on Pizza Pasta first. That's going to be our transfer, our substitute now. We'll bring on Lucas Roman sort of with 10 minutes or so to go, I reckon. Here we go. A free kick. Bonato fires it into the wall. Bernie Arse fires it into the defender. Johnson just gets it clear where Raskin can gather. Raskin's certainly made an impression on his debut there. It was a lovely ball in behind for Nuama for that third goal. It's a shame that Nuama couldn't take it, but Rafalskis on hand to surely settle the game at that point. In real life, Thomas Muller is going to play for the Vancouver Whitecaps. Indeed, that seems like a crazy move, but also quite a good one. I think we've had what's his name? Marco Reus, obviously, his move to LA worked out pretty damn well for him. I think it's a good league, a decent standard. I think it's a great place for Muller to carry on his career. Do we have any Sheffield Wednesday fans in? How do people feel about Danny Röhl stepping down from the club? It's been a tumultuous summer with the issues with the owner. And Danny Röhl appeared to be the one who was holding everything together, and he's now gone. So that's got to be leaving people to feel a little bit worried there. Now we're moving in the set pieces like prime Brentford. Damn right we are. Damn right. If that's going to be the way we have to win, that's the way we have to win. Here's Bonato, plays it out wide. There's the full-time whistle. What a good start that is. Wasn't that Ricky Villa, not Ardiaz? That's a very good point. Very, very good point, Desmano. It is indeed. So Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan even used to psych out opponents by singing that song in their ears. It's a foolproof approach. Foolproof approach. Yep, Hung Min reckons the Muller move is smart. Playing for the strongest team in the Western Conference. That's part. The only potential issue from that is that the way that American leagues work is it might be the strongest team now, but by next season they'll end up being like the 8th best team. So we'll see. I think that getting Muller certainly should help them in that regards. Though. Right, let's get these guys all rested up, and then our next game's away against Fiorentina. We have agreed a deal to loan out some more players. Basically everyone in our under-20 squad has been listed for loan on the development list as well. So we've got loads and loads of players out on loan. A large number of them have absolutely zero chance whatsoever of making the first team, to be completely frank with you. But what we'll do is we'll keep on loaning them out until there's like a year left on their contract. Then we'll sell them for not too much money. But, you know, it all adds up a little bit. It's always Raskin time, says DM Basis. Isn't it just? Isn't it just? Right, I wonder if the bench is on fire if he's Bernie ass. Well, that's why he's on the bench. They need to have him sat down so they can prevent there being any oxygen under there. It helps break the fire triangle or something along those lines, right? Welcome in, CJ2906. I'm doing very well. How are you? How was your weekend? Sheffield Wednesday, they've had a stand shut now, poor bastard. It's horrible, isn't it? Absolutely horrible seeing what's going on there. They only have 8 players. It's crazy. The stand's been shut as it's corroded as no one has fixed it. It's grim. You have a few family friends that are big United fans, but I do hope things work out for Wednesday. So same, like, I mean, any rivalries aside, I imagine a lot of Sheffield United fans are probably in the same boat where they don't want to see a club go under. They'd like to beat them. They certainly would like it whilst they struggle and perhaps would end up in a lower division. But seeing them in this kind of mess, it's a little bit worrying. But we've talked about this a lot on the channel, haven't we? Right, there we go. We've got Anita Hammer out on loan. We're going to make $1 million roughly out of him. That's something for this season, right? Yeah, but like, football needs to collapse under the weight of its own hubris at some point. But still, whenever that actually happens to a team, it's horrible. It's horrible. They were a great team back in the day, back in the era of Benito Carboni. Oh, what a player. What a player. So, Marsh, the only affiliation you've got Wednesday is the big man, Barry Bannon. What a man. What a man indeed. I was convinced that Barry Bannon was going to be a star at Villa. There was at that period in the Gerard Houllier season, Barry Bannon had this beautiful knack of picking up space in the half space and playing those angled cross, like shallow crosses that people often rave about De Bruyne doing, where he'd play them on the angle. And there would be Darren Bent to chest it down and finish it. I think he did that like 3 times right at the end of the season, including a glorious goal that helped us beat Arsenal right towards the end. And I was like, this is going to be mint. This is going to be so good. And then obviously Julio had to step down for his health reasons. And Bannon fell out of favour, tumbled down, and yeah, a real disappointment. I had very, very high hopes for him. All because of one pass that he could make. Morecambe 2 are about to go, or possibly have gone. Yes, I saw that. There is a statement by a group that are looking to buy Morecambe that came out earlier on today, which certainly suggests there might be some positive hope in that regard. Right, Zerachul has redeemed a minigame, so shall we head on over and do that? And I'm afraid we are going to have to do something that I know people aren't going to be all that keen on. They often moan when I do it. So just especially for Crodmo, let's play a round of... No, we're going to play bingo. It's all good. So if you guys haven't played bingo before, I'll let you know how it works. Over in your chat right now, you have a lovely little link. You pop on in, that takes you into the lobby here. Once we start the game, every single player gets a unique bingo card with 16 squares. Those squares will contain clubs or nations or competitions or awards. We then all receive the same list of 60 players, one after the other. We get 10 seconds to decide whether that player matches one of those squares. If they do, you click it. If they don't, you let the timer run out or you skip that option. By the end of it, you hope to have placed 16 squares with players. Once you click on a square, it's locked in. You can't undo it. You can't put another player in that square. So you want to make sure you're feeling reasonably confident that they meet that criteria. Now, I will give it like about 2 minutes to allow people time to get themselves in if they want to play. We have some very, very smart people in here. People far, far smarter than I. We had, I think, 3 bingos last week.
It's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
On a needle. Welcome in, Benny, with the resubscribe. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. How are you doing, Benny? Now, if you guys don't know Benny Cargate is a wonderful, wonderful North American streamer. Very much worth heading on over to his channel there. There should be a lovely little link up there. Go check him out. You most definitely should. Welcome in, by the way, Nick, as well. Lovely to see you. And Cocky Smells. What wonderful timing there. Mr. Grizzly P is here to play bingo and chew bubblegum. Mr. Grizzly P has proven to be the bingo champ last week. Him and Draw picking up bingos like there's no tomorrow. Bill, so after watching plenty of online PvP tournaments, I have to ask, do you enjoy it? You've only had fun playing with close friends during the FM10 era and how much? So I will be completely frank. Like, I think there is something that is quite fun about it as a process. I'm very, very honoured to be part of the league, and that in its own right is really, really enjoyable. But I do find it very, very difficult from a streamer perspective, because what I love about streaming is the conversations with you guys. And when I have to jump into a room and have a chat with someone else, I'm not necessarily able to keep up, and I'm not interacting as much with you guys, and that I find a little bit difficult. It's why I stopped doing like the Among Us streams when I jump in and play those games with Rowan. I love playing those games with Rowan. We'll still do that, but as a stream, I find it quite awkward. Right. Anyway, we've just passed that 2 minutes, so I'm going to click start there. So if you guys have it open in another browser, pop on over. The countdown will already be going, and we'll head on in there. So yeah, like I very much. You know, I play a game style that isn't necessarily focused on the meta as well. So PvP does sometimes present a different type of challenge, which can be exciting in some ways, but also frustrating in others too. Right, Benoit Badiashile, we can play there. So Benny is recovering from a stomach bug you got yesterday. Oh, that's grim. I hope it clears reasonably soon. Never nice. So you had something that just absolutely tore you up. You feel better today though? That's a good sign. Hopefully that's it's just one of those 24-hour bugs that can pass almost as quickly as it comes. Fingers crossed. Anyway, fingers crossed. So you take the string, you tie it around the balloon, cut it when it's around. What are we talking about? How do you measure a balloon? Right. Okay. I mean, or measuring tape, surely. Surely measuring tape is just a string, but also has the measurements already on it. I should stop talking to you guys, and I should pay attention to this, because I'm not in the slightest. One of those words. We'll go with it. Theo for Champions League. Amin Gil for Monaco. Here, Emil Højbjerg. Not feeling that one. Leon Goretzka. I'm also not feeling Goretzka. How about a little bit of Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank? Everyone loves a little bit of Jimmy, but I don't think he matches any of the good criteria there. Pardon me. Right, Manchester United and Lille midfielder Angel Gomez. I don't feel anything with that one. William Gallas has nope. Akraf Hakimi. Did Di Maria leave before Hakimi arrived? I'm going to assume he did, but he was there during the Emery era, is my guess there. Even Helguera is going to be a skip. Diego Forlan is going to be a skip. Jorginho Jorginho is also going to be a skip. Right, what about Nicholas Jackson for Senegal? Julio Enciso, we're going to pass past that one. Ural Hato. Salomon Kalou. Don't think he matches any of those either. Paul Lintz. Right, Mauricio Ayala. Again, don't know. Maybe he ended up playing in MLS. I'm not sure on that front, so I'll let that one run. Could have won the Copa America, to be fair. I can play El Hadj Diouf on Liverpool, though. Hisai. Rene Higuita. Did Colombia ever win Copa America during the Higuita era? He deserves to for his hair alone, so we're going to play it. Hiroki Ito, I don't think matches any of those. Everton legend Demarai Gray. Gonna let that one run. Everton legend Tim Howard. Obviously won the Golden Boot. Oh, mate, was he? Let's say he was at Man United at the same time as Di Maria. Let's play that risk there. We will have Brad Friedel playing in the MLS. We will have Joe Hart, which we're going to skip. Marcus Rashford. We're going to skip. Jan Koller, we're going to skip. Patrick Schick. A Patrick Schick fan, where are you when we need you, sir? Where are you when we need you? Is Buchanan American or Canadian? I have a feeling he's Canadian, so I'm going to let that one pass. We'll let Campos go as well. We'll let Patrice Evra go. Lots of goalkeepers coming through. Mark Bosnich now. Milan Baros, I don't think he would have ever won the Golden Boot. Surely he never scored enough times for that. Paul Merson won't have done either. Virgil van Dijk. He has 2 UCL titles, doesn't he? Can skip that one there. Brian McClare. Did he win the Golden Boot in one of the first seasons? I don't think so. But I can't say that with great confidence. I wish I'd used Brad Friedel in USA rather than any of the others there now. Freddie Ljungberg did end up at West Ham, so we can play that one. Matt Doherty we're going to skip on. Got Casemiro. How many Champions League has Casemiro won? I don't feel good about that one, but we are starting to run out of players now. Shenzo Monteiro. Thierry Henry for the Golden Boot. Fernando Llorente. I'm going to play that one there. We're looking for an American with three remaining. Amir Arami is the last person American. We are saying that Brahim Diaz is American. We're going with that. So Højbjerg is at Marseille. There we go. And there we have it. We have it. Beautiful stuff. Crudmo with a bingo. Carrying on the run. I think that is now... I think we had... so Draw and Mr. Grizzly P got a bingo on Friday. Mr. Grizzly P got a bingo on Wednesday and on Monday. I'm pretty certain Draw got a bingo the previous Friday. That might be 5 successive streams with someone getting bingo. Sensational work. In joint second, we've got Koku Smash. We've got Jorginho 14. We've got FMGNG. And then in joint fifth, we've got Nick Crosis. We've got Koratib. We've got Char 67. We've got Mr. Grizzly P. We've got Montella 30. Now, they are in joint fifth place, and we know that Zerachul takes his time. Zerachul hasn't come through yet. He could potentially knock all of those people off fifth place if we're unfortunate, but we will have to see in due course, because whilst I will check back on that in a little bit, but let's push forward with the game. So Bill, you find it very frustrating watching so much min-maxing, but that's just me. I enjoy watching you exactly because you don't do that. That is certainly the challenge of it. I am on the wrong thing. Let's click on the right one. There we go. There's the game. Right, so the new fullback we've signed has now gone out on loan. He's going to be playing for Winterthur back in Switzerland, where hopefully that first team football will just help him develop a little bit. So Hungerman, you will never have a bingo. It's just one step at a time, Hungerman. One step at a time. So where did you put Højbjerg as being at Kokusmelch? So you thought he won the Europa League with Tottenham this season? Oh, that is pain. That is pain indeed. Colombia has won a Copa America, but it's 2001. Don't think he was on that side. Evidently not. Evidently not. You thought Muani won the Europa League with Frankfurt. That's a reasonable guess as well. I wouldn't say that's out of the realm of possibility. So it's like there was a slight time delay. So you clicked United for the correct answer, but it switched over to the next one and took that and said, so what have you put for United? Who did you accidentally put in that way? Grizzly P, you're way off. Sometimes you're allowed a bad day, Grizzly P. After your absolute run of dominance last week, it's refreshing to know that you're human. The category 80s player made certain that I'd not get a bingo. So was that players born in the 80s or players that were active in the 80s? That sounds like a very, very cruel round. Actually, for both, to be honest, because if you're not familiar with the era of players, whether that's early players that were in their prime in their early 2000s or players in their prime in their 80s. By the way, welcome in Dolmisa and Gave29. Thank you very much for the follow, guys. If you're comfortable getting in chat, I'd love to know whether you're playing FM and if so, who you're playing with, but absolutely no obligation whatsoever to do that. Feel free to lurk. So you're doubting that Imsand will perform. His name is literally a German saying about something going wrong. Oh, that doesn't bode well. That doesn't bode well at all. Whilst this is going on, I have some bingo news. And Mr. Grizzly P, Coritiba, Necrosis, Char 67, Montella 30. You were all in joint fifth. That gets you 1 point on my lovely scoreboard. But Zerachul has finished his round. And he too scored 13. He got 13 correct. So he joins you in joint fifth. No one gets knocked off the leaderboard, which is fabulous stuff. Fabulous stuff. So then basis, you ended up with Dean Huijsen instead of Marcus Rashford. Oh, that's frustrating. So Benny got born in the 70s as a bingo block. You were born in 1988, by the way. I mean, so I think depending on when you got into soccer as well, to be fair. But like, I don't mind they're born in the 70s, 80s, because those players were kind of in their prime in the 90s and the 2000s, which is what I remember as a 1985 kid. Right, okay, we've got an ad break coming up. It's happening in a few moments, so I will disappear. I'm going to drink. I'm going to poison my lungs. I might even pee. So I will see you guys in about 3 minutes, and when we come back, we've got an away game against Fiorentina. See you in a moment. Right, and we're back. Benny didn't get into the European game until 2005. That would have made Born in the 70s rather challenging, wouldn't it? I mean, you were looking at players. I'm guessing you had to hope that you'd get lucky with someone who might have just been born in the tail end of the 70s, who was, kind of towards the end of their career as well. I mean, sure, someone born in 79 would have been 26 in 2005, but, you're looking for players that played for quite a while thereafter and would have been established, I imagine. So, yeah, that would have been very, very tricky. As Zerachal Holidays wrecking your bingo form, and I'm all for it. Let's tighten that gap. We are in the last week of this season. So we will. Is there a enjoy the game? I seem to prefer these options for saying I have faith or relax. Certainly. Here we've got Marcus Antonio as the more attacking one, and he is being marked correctly. So all the rest of these guys will be in the right positions. Let's see how we get on away from home against Matias Almeida's Fiorentina with Brian Hill on the left wing. Look at that glorious throwback 60s haircut. Beautiful stuff. 26 in 2005. That's pretty ancient. Very ancient. Very ancient. Zerachal, you're going to bottle it like only Spurs can. It's weird. We've put you on a pedestal, and I always want to see the leader get chased down. But I'm also quite happy if Crodmo doesn't win the second season of minigames. It'd be nice to have a new champion to anoint. Here's Nico, shoots from distance, Atabolo scrambles across, turns it behind. A positive start from Fiorentina so far. It's going to be Molinari to take the corner, right footer in, swinging at that near post, but Björn Rod gets in, and we managed to get it clear eventually. Here is Hill, finds Coyote against the angle. Atabolo spills it first time, but manages to get his hands on it. So we've had a number of shots there. That's like 3 really, really early on. But now it's our chance, possibly. Here's Nuama, feeds Rocha back to Nuama. Raskin over the top to Navarro. Navarro cuts inside. Navarro's going to take the shot. It's on his weaker foot, and it was offside anyway. They're offside against Arda Güler. There we go. Good job you were 27 back then. I mean, DM Basis was 16. I was the ripe old age of 20 as Monterrey yet again.
For the fans, it's because AC Milan will come on. Let's go mental in the stands. Goals for the fans, it's because AC Milan will come on. Let's go mental in the stands.
Another offside. This time, again, another player allegedly interfering with play. Rafalskis was kind of in the general area of the goalkeeper's eyesight, but that feels a little bit harsh if you ask me. Right, let's demand some more. Good that we got a goal. Shame it doesn't count. Benny didn't get into the MLS until 2014. That's fair as well. Koku Smelch got into football in 2006, whilst Rich was 34. A fine age, though. To keep you guys from feeling old, you won't share how old I was. That is very much appreciated, Koku Smelch. Cromo says, don't you dare reset the leaderboard just so I catch up with that. How dare you say, right, that's minus 10 points to Crodmo for insulting Zerachal like that. How dare he? Akoratiba was like 0. Now you're making us feel old. There is a battle for third too, GNG, and you have absolutely climbed up the rankings in the last week as well. Really tight. But GNG absolutely thrown his hat into the ring, which is beautiful. Did you not get the free merch? No, I make Crodmo pay, but that's only because I have to deal with him sending messages and stuff. No goals for the fans. Disgraceful, isn't it? All that pageantry and it's disallowed. I think it's my fault for celebrating too early, evidently. Oh, what a piss poor half that was. We did get momentum in our favour for the most of it. 3 shots from each team, 0.29 XG combined. That's not all that exciting. We are going to say we have to be better in front of goal. We are going to go a little bit more direct. Let's not dwell on the ball too much. Let's try and overpower them a little bit. Don't want to let them settle. In fact, and be more expressive. We will do a whole two things to try and take the advantage here. Let's tell them that I have faith. And into the second half we go. Brian Hill and his glorious mop has been replaced at half-time, though, which is disappointing. What a shame. What a shame. Benny, so the album you got for today's 1001 album challenge has been really bad. Do tell me more about the 1001 album challenge. I don't know anything about it. Don't worry, it's only a couple of years until you go, this guy's probably not going to develop a lot anymore before noticing he's your age. Tell me about it. Are you going to take that one away from us, Ref? You can't, because it was amazing. Ernest Nuama cutting inside, placing it into the far corner like the absolute G he is. Right, the corner goes back to Gula. Across, here's Bonato. He manages to turn. His shot deflected. I don't know who it came to. Rafalskis once again judged to have blocked the keeper's view. Come on, Rafalskis. Be a little bit smarter. Here's Nuama driving into the box once again. It's saved with Santorello's feet out for another corner. This is a good start to the second half. We're only 7 minutes into the second half. That's a number of chances now. Here's the corner into the far post. Cipriani doesn't just get it clear. I was going to say get to the ball as well, but it looks like it probably went out for a throw. Right, Fiorentina made a couple of changes, and Rocha getting booked is now our hint that we need to make changes as well. Now, Bonato's only on a 6.5, but it's going to be Rafalskis as the man that's coming off. Because of those couple of offsides, only one of them has cost us a goal, but it seems to be an issue for us. Right, here's Arda Güler. With that wand of a left foot, sends it in, beyond Rod, peeling away, can't get there. Nuama, across to Raskin. Raskin finds Güler. Güler cuts inside, takes the shot, and that's unfortunately a little bit wide. I thought Santoriello had got a hand to it. I was evidently wrong. Evidently very, very wrong there. Right, into the last 10 minutes, we've seen a little bit of momentum for... last 20 minutes even, a little bit of momentum for Fiorentina, so we'll just give the guys a little reminder that I expect them to score another goal. And what can Navarro create here? He keeps on giving the ball to the opposition, but it's okay. It comes to Raskin on the edge of the area.
Milan, come together, clap your hands, save me. Scoring goals, AC Milan.
Save me! I did not pitch that at all correctly, and then I bailed out. Ugh, that was a horrible choice of note. I do apologise. You had to hear it. I barely heard any of that at all, thank God. Right, so our last set of changes we'll put. Listen, we've only made the 2 changes so far, actually, so we do have a couple more that we can do. Let's see what happens with this highlight first. Right, Monterisi into Raskin. Raskin tries playing in Scamacca, just a little bit too far ahead of him. Right, we are going to bring off Arda Güler because he's looking a little bit tired. So on comes Gianni Ricci. On comes HJ Bockers at left back as well. For Navarro is looking to tire just a little bit right now. The highlight is still going. What's going to happen here? Arda Güler plays Scamacca in. Scamacca out. Boom, Sakura T, but already think some players are washed at 20. Oh, controversial. They're not washed until they reach 45. They're still young at that point, that's for sure. So there's a book, 1001 albums you must listen to before you die. It's a website that takes the list, shuffles it, and gives you one to listen to every day. You're on day 34 today. The album today is Metal Box by Public Image Limited. Oh, well, I've got some bias towards Public Image Limited. I'm reasonably I quite like them. I have the pleasure of getting to know Jar Wobble quite a bit when I was younger. He was on his current band at the time, Damage Manual, were on the same label as my dad's band. So often they'd go and they'd do the same gigs. They'd be on the same card. A truly, truly wonderful gentleman, really, really nice. Gave me a lot of tips myself for when I was playing. So I have a soft spot for them. I don't mind Metal Box. Not the best album, I don't think, but not a bad one. So can we ban the use of the word Moneyball in football analysis? You've seen it misused so much this summer. I mean, you're always going to struggle a little bit with the with any any conversation surrounding Moneyball and football, because there aren't really true analogues to it in the sport. But trying to find your own way to appropriate that within a context of a sport that is more open and free flowing always means you're going to get very, very different interpretations of how to apply that word. That's a good win. That's a difficult away game against a good team, and we've managed to pick up another 3 points, which is marvellous. Our next game up against Juventus, the now completely and utterly broke Juventus. Hopefully, I mean, I'm hoping their players are getting plundered left, right and centre as we speak now that they're in administration. And by the time we play them next week, they've got to just play a whole bunch of 15-year-olds. That's the hope. That's the hope, at least. Cromwell doesn't mind a bit of PIL. Exactly. Only if we ban Sheffield from doing AI transfers. What's the why Sheffield? Why Sheffield? It's not your style of rock, Benny. Fair enough. So this all thanks to Raskin, all of it. Wasn't it just? What a goal from Raskin. To think we made the decision to sign him whilst you weren't even on the stream, DM bassist. You didn't know until we officially made the bid, which is quite crazy. Williams in the wrong place here, son. I mean, I would like to think that I approach it correctly. But then every single person who thinks that they're going to be using it thinks they're going to be applying it correctly, and that's where ultimately the risk of interpretation comes in. I disagree with how it is often used by members of the FM community, by members of the football community, even by members of the baseball community as well. There seems to be a certain diversity of opinion on some elements of it. But yeah, I'm always going to believe my way is the right way, right? I mean, that's what happens. We always believe we're right. So CJ, except to use it correctly. Well, hey, there we go. And I've got validation. That's all I needed. Thank you, CJ. It's become like a buzzword for some reason. It is, but I mean, the thing is, yeah, it's always going to be difficult. It gets thrown about a lot in the FM community, some catch-all term for buy low, sell high nonsense. I mean, I shouldn't have bothered giving my opinions. You guys are already miles ahead of it. I need to catch up with my chat and make sure that I'm on top of it, because you've already said all the things I'm going on about. I do apologize. I apologize profusely. I know, but that's how I know you appreciate me. You did this for me. Exactly. Cosmo says, correct me if I'm wrong, but the new Sheffield United owners said they want to create a new AI model that helps them sign players from unknown leagues. I was not aware of that. I imagine that every single club probably has some kind of data model out there for assessing, maybe not necessarily to sign, but to help refine down their list of targets and identify who they might want to go out and look at in more detail. I would be very surprised if that's not a thing that's happening across basically any team that has the financial power to do so. But then clubs now going, yeah, we're going to put the word AI in front of it, and we're going to talk about how we're all cutting edge and everything. Because like even with the application of more data-led approach to recruitment that's been used by teams like Brighton and by Brentford, some claim that John Henry has been doing it with Liverpool because of his connection to the Red Sox. That's existed well beyond it. Maybe not to the same extent, maybe not used as broadly as it has been in the more modern age, but data-led approach to signings and to tactical approach was used by people like Sam Allardyce back in the 90s. You can take things all the way back to Charles Reap in the 1950s and some of his misapplication of data as well. And now that isn't Moneyball. Moneyball isn't data-led recruitment. It is obviously worth pointing that out. Or at least my interpretation of Moneyball is it's about finding those undervalued or underappreciated players through the use of metrics, looking at things that are maybe overlooked by other teams. But similarly, to what the Oakland Athletics were doing, Ravelskis is out. He's going to miss a few games. That's absolutely no worries. Scamacca can get the start with that lovely goal, the third goal that he scored against Fiorentina. He probably deserves it. Yeah, but like, you know, the focus on base percentage was partly because the Oakland Athletics couldn't use traditional metrics to highlight players, because the players they would be chasing would be chased by bigger teams who were already able to offer more money. So on base percentage was a replacement for that, because at least they were still getting on base, however that may be, rather than relying on strike rate. So they're still getting roughly the same outcome accordingly. So, yeah, I mean, like, the Oakland Athletics would have signed players for using traditional methods if they could compete. And certainly some of the metrics they were looking at when it came to pitches and some of the stuff around arm speed and those elements as well had a much more traditional flavour, right? Like DM Basis, he's willing to risk talking about Norway now. No, you're not thinking Norway. You think you might go with Sweden, the superior Scandinavian nation. Oh, we've got some fighting talk coming in here. Wash that filthy mouth Englishman. Oh, that might be even worse. That's a cog smash. Yeah, I feel like AI seems to oversell if it's probably a rules-based algorithm. It seems like chucking the word AI in front of everything is definitely the in-trend moment. Unless they ask ChatGPT, which Bulgarian player can we buy? I mean, the cheek to then call that a whole model wouldn't surprise me, let's be fair. Welcome in, Draw. Lovely to see you. Good evening. Will the league be on this week? The league will be on this week. It's on tomorrow. It starts a little bit later, so it's going to be 6:30 p.m. British summertime. It's the final week of the league stage. So we're in 10th. We're something like 4 points off the top 8. The top 8 teams will then be competing the following week in a playoff to crown the great winner of the whole thing. So, shockingly, we are still in with a chance. And by a chance, I don't mean like we have to win every game and every other team has to somehow lose. It's not beyond the realm of possibility. And that kind of blows my mind. There is absolutely zero reason we should be even remotely close to that. And I'm sticking with it. I very much believe that if we can finish above 17th, we've done well. But the closer we get to the final, the more creeps in the idea that we could actually make the playoffs, which would be fucking ridiculous. Because we're shit. That's the whole that's the whole point. We are shit. We've got some very good players. Don't get me wrong. Victor Osimhen is a very, very good player who's underperforming for us. It has to be added. But we wanted to have a slightly ragtag bunch, and just give ourselves a few wins over the course of the season to feel small little hits of dopamine throughout. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. CJ says, you remember that Ian Graham came into Liverpool with Michael Edwards and he was this huge data nerd and created like super data system. Yeah, but it was nothing new. That's the point I'm making, CJ. Like lots of teams were doing this, they just weren't talking about it. And that's understandable because you don't really want to talk about it, because then you're giving insight to your opposition about the approaches that you go to. And then if you're successful, people want to steal that insight. I warn you, you got kicked out as a mod for criticizing Mustermann's favorite Viking lover. Exactly. And DM Basis is in a very, very fine position. If you're not careful, DM Basis, you won't be a mod. Well, it said Rangers should sign Ahmed Akhmedov from Spartak Varna. Interesting. Right, it's mostly because you can't settle on a team, so might look at Sweden instead. Surely that's going to make it harder for you, right? That's going to make it so much harder. If you're going to go from, I can't pick a Norwegian team, so now I'm going to choose between Norwegian teams and Swedish teams, you've now got more teams that will take up your possible targets and more decisions to make as a result. Benfica want to sign our starting left back. That's a no. Lazio have gone into administration as well. Right, so we will do the same here. I'm going to get some reports on the youth teams. I don't want to plunder their senior teams. But if we can improve our position in the future, that will be good. Although let's have a look, because Lazio do have some good players. Now that does mean that Naipan is transfer listed. Brennan Johnson is transfer listed. Doesn't put a value for Brennan Johnson there. Still doesn't put a value on him. He was the top scorer in the league last season. No, we don't want to plunder the teams ourselves. But if we start to see a few more Italian teams go into administration during the course of this season, I feel like I am just thinking and reacting to the news as it currently is. That might mean this is our last season in Serie A. It would feel very, very unfair for us to continue trying to compete in a season where the rest of the teams can't necessarily compete. We obviously, I mean, I have a feeling that AC Milan themselves would probably be in that situation had we not taken over where we did, because they were paying 400,000 euros a week to loads and loads of players. So, yeah, indeed. Crummo reckons he's going to get in trouble for warning you. I mean, I didn't, but now I'm going to... Fuck it. Minus 10 points for Crummo. There we go. I think that's minus 20 points from this stream alone. Not sure what they were for, but we'll run with it anyway. There's a recommendation of going for Odds Ball Club. Kind of fun. They are indeed. Gardens are good as well. If you want to go that subpar Volvo place. Oh, the Scandinavian the Scandinavian rivalries are playing out for sure. Right, Osazura comes onto the bench. Skamaka gets his start. Roche has not been great. I have to say, Roche has not been great. So I'm going to bring in Kari. I'm going to put Raskin in that slightly more controlling position as the deep-lying playmaker to start. I mean, Roche hasn't been bad, don't get me wrong, but he has picked up yellow cards in both his games. And we'll head on in to that there. So welcome in, Icy. Can you give you some tips for implementing a Catenaccio tactic for your new save? Oh, that is a very, very difficult question. So my general recommendation is that when you are setting up a defensive tactic, you want to think your most about what you do when you have the ball. So in a Catenaccio tactic, you generally speaking, you want to have levers. You know, a back three is traditional, but you can do it in a back four as well. You want to make sure that you have players that are tracking and dropping and covering, but you also want to make sure that they're not stepping out. So you want to make sure that your trigger press is probably a little bit lower. You're dropping off more. You're making sure that the players are holding their shape rather than stepping out to engage, because that's where it's going to get pulled apart. And it will still get pulled apart, because if you're constantly inviting pressure on yourself, players will make mistakes. They will shut off, they'll make mistakes, and there'll be opportunities to exploit. What you need to do is make sure that when you have the ball, you have a plan for how you're moving into the opposition half and keeping it. So I do a whole video over this on YouTube for FM24 about planning your counterattacks, making sure that you have players and you know whether they're going to be working the channels or whether they're going to be dropping deep and holding the ball up and having players running off them. Because if you don't have a plan for what you do with the ball, it's going to keep on coming back at you. And if that happens 90 minutes throughout a game, you're going to concede. You're probably going to concede quite a lot. Right, the right siding player is attacking again. That will be picked up by Kari. Raskin will pick up the attacking midfielder. So let's head on in against Juventus. Zerachal feels bad for knowing what squad you're going to get next draft. It's rigged. It's rigged. Who are the players who are fighting with you for the playoffs? So currently just above us, we have Lelujo in 9th. We have Sims Muller in 8th. I think it's Omega Luke in 7th. And I think Stan's dropped down a little bit from the first couple of weeks. So he might be around 5th or 6th. It looks very much like it's going to be between Work for Space, Clates, Zealand and Top Pick for the top spots in the league. But that doesn't actually confirm much advantage. They do get buys going into the first round of the playoffs. But otherwise, it doesn't confer any additional advantage on there. So I can't remember who the other team is. It might be Goggles, which was Stokes, then taken over by Zealand's brother, but I might be wrong on that one. Cromwell wants you to avoid Rosenberg because they're awful. It might be because Zerachal supports them. It's all about the badges, colours, and vibes. That's fair. That's fair. Right, can we do something? We've had a couple of half chances. New Hammer shot, blocked. Comes as far as Ardagula. He has to go back to Carl. Surely we've got space over on the right. Nuama feeds Benato. Benato gets out of his feet, but it's good covering defending from Bennett. Bennett with the block behind for a corner. Gula will take that corner. None of the players attack it, but he does get it back. Feeds Navarro. Navarro crosses it in. Players fall over, and that was a push by us on them, apparently. There we go. There we go. So the teams playing white and black are Rosenberg and Odd, which may, fun fact is Rosenberg was started as a tribute to Odd back in the day. They are an old giant, indeed. Right, Nuama loses out to Edozi. It can be Asso now. He's got time, no pressure coming. He plays it into Kovalenko. Micheletti loses out to Benato, though. Benato, what can he do here? He can pass it backwards. It makes its way to Raskin. Out to Nuama. Back to Monterisi. Raskin feeds it. Nuama's in behind. Tackled. Arda Güler can't get her out of his feet. And now a chance for Juventus to come away. Edozi to Cambiasso. Oh, that was a shit highlight. AI Murdoch. DIAI Murdoch. Why have we got an AI Crudmo anagram? As Benato takes a shot, Carnesecchi turns it over, scrambling to his left, almost like he was caught a little bit flat-footed initially, but manages to do enough to turn it round the post. Here's our corner into the far post. We need to be sending more in towards Monterisi. He's got 2 goals in 2 games so far this season. It does look like set pieces are going to be our main route. Oh, welcome in, Welsh Smithy. How are you, sir? How was your weekend? And there's Samuel Edozi. Juventus with a chance. Juventus with a goal. That's what happens when we don't take our chances. Here we go. Let's shout at them. It's from a throw-in. Bowie finds Kovalenko to Nusa first time. And Doner Kebab is beaten in the air by Samuel Edozi. Atabolo can't get across in time. Hopefully, though, we respond. With Arda Güler, good save from Carl.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Randy the Savage Man loves Valvos. He's showing his support for Sweden. Volvo was great. Now it's Chinese, not so great. I mean, that's just propaganda. That's anti-Chinese propaganda. Cinema asks, what about Nick RTFM? So I said Nick was in 4th. I think he's or around 4th. Top pick is the name of his team. So mention that. Johnson's in. Welcome in, Johnson. Lovely to see you, my dude. How was your weekend? Ford now stands for fix or repair daily. I mean, I don't drive. I have no stake in the conversation. But as someone that knows nothing about driving and road cars, it does. Whenever I see these things, Benato, come on, Benato. Oh, Carnesecchi with the save. It looks like it might be one of those games. I might need to start being aggressive as early as half time, possibly pushing players up a little bit if we can't get an equaliser before the break. But a lot of this sounds a lot like the same moaning that like my uncles were doing back 20 years ago about the same manufacturers. Almost like the age old. It wasn't as good back as back when I was younger thing. I mean, it's sure it is completely plausible that they have got worse. On a slide, almost conceded to the second shot on target. Yeah, but I can get away with saying that because I don't drive. I don't know. I can always go, I don't know. And no way, John Sayo was 1 away from posting good evening. Sipinak, welcome in as well. Lovely to see you, my dude. Right, here's Nusa. Nusa has a chance. It comes across. Edozi keeps it in play. Edozi with the cross. Bjorn Rod gets it clear. Into the last 10 minutes or so, they had 2 chances. I imagine momentum's going to show them better there. Yeah, so looks like it's going to be one of those games we're going to be saying absolutely can't be losing. Nico Raskin took over that role for Ricardo Rocha, and he managed to get himself booked. We're going to bring on HJ Bockers as well, and Skamaka is going to be replaced. No, he's not. Not yet. Anyway, we're going to push Bockers up. Going to push Kari up as well. So Kari needs to still make sure that he's marking Micheletti, but we are going to ask him to push forwards ahead of Arda Güler. Not going to put him as a central midfielder on attack right now. But essentially, all we're doing is just saying those two on the left, I want you to attack a little bit more. And we're going to play a bit more direct as we chase this game into the second half. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Hopefully. Right, so Grizzly, you're half asleep now, but you still want to keep playing FM. Don't do it. Nothing worse than trying to play FM when you're not paying attention. You then wake up the next day and you like all the mistakes. It's horrible. Reno Gattuso woke you up all right though. That's fair. Doner Kebab should go to the V League. You seem to have an issue with Doner Kebab hung them in. What do you think caused Juventus' decline in recent years in real life? A fair question. I don't know enough to really say with any confidence, but I think that Italy has struggled with keeping up financially with the other leagues in many respects, and that's kind of seen them put in a position where they've kind of been still paying top dollar, but not necessarily for top quality players, and that's caused a lot of strain. And I think that that's been a problem for a lot of the Italian teams, apart from Napoli in spells, Atalanta in spells, Inter in spells. Right, Benato is going to be replaced by Gianni Ricci. Arda Güler. Actually, no, it's going to be Isaac coming on. We're going with all the changes if we can. We're going to play Osazura as a target forward. We're now going to ask you to go on to attack, but you to go on to support. We're going to say be more expressive. And that is all our changes made with 20 minutes remaining. And then once those are done, we're going to give them a little bit of a shout as well. So, well, Smithy, you had a good weekend, as did Johnson. Marvellous to hear. Introduce your cousin to Football Manager, and her first words were, "Why does my goalkeeper pass it to the opposition striker?" True FM moment. What a universal experience, right? A universal experience for sure. So, Benny, you bought a Ford in 2016 for 17 grand brand new, 11 miles on it, drove it 235,500 miles. The only thing that actually broke was the AC, the air conditioning actuator. That's not too bad, to be fair. Welcome in, Hossam. Lovely to see you, my dude. How are you? How was your weekend? So, Draw asks, what do I think of Hulk Hogan? I think that I've never been big into wrestling. I was briefly when I was like 8 years old. So I have no opinion on him as a wrestling man, and as a human being, I think he is a very, very unpleasant human being. Osazua with a chance is a good block. So I don't have any great connection to him to feel particularly impacted by obviously the sad news of him passing the other week. I'm also not a big fan of hagiography. And so just because he's passed, I'm not going to then turn around and pretend like I think that he was a good person that we should be sad has passed. But also, that doesn't mean that now is the right time to go around and start massively highlighting or going out of your way to highlight the bad things or say mean things about him. There is plenty of time in perpetuity to do so. I mean, he's passed now. There's not really much he can do about it. Can we get something into the last 10 minutes or so? So you assuming you instructed them to roll it out as well? Well, she did. I left her to learn. There we go. We are now down to 10 men. And that means we are going to drop Richie into a slightly deeper position as we go attacking. Can we do anything in these last few moments? It is 2.23 XG to 0.4. An equaliser is all we deserve, right? Isaac, though, can't beat Kruger in the air. Noosa comes away. They've got players over. He has to go back to the keeper, though. They've got a chance to reset, and so he pokes it out to Edozie. Doner Kebab wins the header. Ilgas now. Forwards once again to Edozie. Edozie, two men on him. Plays it inside to Elise. Elise to Vlahovic. Vlahovic to Bowie. Bowie's got to play the pass through now. He finds Noosa. Noosa charges past his man. Ahmed. Antonio Noosa even. 2-0. There we go. Game over. At least they've got more than 0.4 XG now. So Zerachul, DM Basis asks, would you hate me if you went with Ranheim? Interesting choice. Apart from the jersey colour, not a bad choice. Fair enough. We've got the seal of approval. Hopefully there at least. Sorry, trying to catch up there. So Cromo says, losing 1-0 to Man United in the Champions League final after an hour. Pulled out a surprise switch to it. 4-2-3-1, beaten 2-1. Go Crodmo. Marvellous stuff. Randy, the Savage Man, only ever plays FM when you're tired. You're always tired. That's a fair cop there indeed. Yeah, we lost. 2-0. I mean, that was a disappointing result. Again, these things happen, don't they? Like you will have games where you play well and you drop points. That seems to be one of them. Eamon Kari is now going to be out for a few weeks. That's okay. We'll slide Raskin back over to the left-hand side. I much prefer losing when we play well to losing when we play badly, obviously. I do prefer winning to losing, so I don't mind winning when we play badly. But when you win with a bad result, there's still things that need to fix. So I don't necessarily feel we're in fixing territory just because of a bad result away from home against Juventus. If we then drop points at home to Bari in the next game, those opinions might change, though. That's a Crodmo's been called meta scum, and he says, look, if we get the results, it's all that matters, and that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I mean, I will judge you harshly for it, but that's your own fault. So DM Basis realised after leaving AZ in your last save that 1, you much prefer 1 club saves, and 2, after playing in both the Prem and Serie A, you don't particularly enjoy top flight in the bigger leagues. I think that's fair. That is absolutely fair as well. So Rich says the best way to play FM is when you've come home drunk, then wake in the morning and survey the damage. Oh no, it's not. Oh no, it definitely isn't. I cannot recommend that at all. There have been many in my younger years, obviously. Many times where I've decided to play drunk and regretted it very, very quickly. Horrible damage done. As Zerachel says, needs to figure out your next save. Spent your 10 seasons in your current saves to need something new. Why stop at 10 seasons? Keep it going. You've got another 10 seasons in you, I believe. Not even Benjamin Sesko could save Man United. Macho Men only, mega powers. Oh yeah, Bill Houdini. Welcome back, sir. Johnson, doing your first ever journeyman. You've been enjoying it. That's good to hear. For better or worse, Hogan made mainstream wrestling what it is today. I can't. Sure, I don't know. So Hossam, am I scared of death? Not expressly, not something I think about. So the question in its own right isn't something that takes up a lot of time for me to be overly concerned about it. It will happen one day, and so be it. Oh, there we go. Our new defender. He's out on loan at Winterthur. He is now out with a torn groin muscle for 4 to 5 weeks. I thought originally that said 4 to 5 months. That's actually nowhere near as bad as I was worried. Zerachul says they are fun. Journeyman saves, that is. Might do one of those, starting in something like the 3rd or 4th flight of Spain, France or Germany. Always a fine choice. DM Basis, you'd consider a journeyman. They can be fun. I like starting them in other continents too. I mean, DM Basis, you just said you've realised you prefer 1 season. I'm not that I'm trying to. How dare you be a hypocrite? Not at all. Not at all. Daniel Gutierrez says, how have I got players in the match? So you can if you pop on over to the Sports Interactive forums, you can head to the skinning bit there, and there are a lot of people that will tell you there are threads in there about how to add players to the match players bar widget. And we are going to decline. We're not going to take part in transfer deadline day. Cromwell tells me to shut up and calls me a beardy FM hipster. Wow. That's another minus 10 points to Cromwell. Congratulations, Zerachul, on winning the minigames for this season. You've absolutely walked it, and I think congratulations, FMG and G. Well, it's going to be tight, but Draw jumps up into 2nd. FMG and G might push into 3rd as well, I think. Cronmo's going to drop right down. Wow. Wow. Ilves are playing AZ in the qualifiers, and they won the first leg 4-3. Incredible result. On my days, they bottled a 2-0 lead. Oh no. Okay, not quite so good then. Not quite so good. DM bassist, I apologise. I've just seen the mystery minigame has been redeemed. We've got an ad break coming up, as they do. So we will play some bingo when we come back there, and I will see you guys in about roughly 3 minutes. And we're back. We are back. Coritiba, yes, you absolutely risk getting taxed for buying a Celta Vigo shirt. 100%. Right, guys, over in your chat, there's a lovely little link to play the next round of bingo. And this time we're going for icons. So this is going to be what the game loosely considers to be legendary players from the past. Some of their legendary players don't seem to be that much from the past. You don't necessarily seem to be that much of a way of legends. But let me explain how the game works if you haven't played before. Hop on over to that link and you'll end up in this lovely little lobby here. Once we start the game, every player gets a unique bingo card with 16 squares. On those squares there'll be clubs, nations, clubs, awards. We then all receive a list of 60 players, revealed one after the other. We have 10 seconds to decide whether they match one of those squares. If they do, you click on the square. Nice and simple. If they don't, you click skip or you let the timer run out. The goal is to get 16 squares all filled and correct. Once you click on a square, that answer is locked in. You can't undo it. You can't put another player in that square. So you need to be careful. You need to make sure that you're confident in doing so. That said, we all make mistakes. we have had someone get, at least one person get bingo in each of the last 5 streams, though. There are some very, very clever people in here. I will give it about another 90 seconds or so for people to jump in if they want to, and then we'll start the round. So let's have a look there. So Welsh Smithy's a fan of Journeyman's as well. Started out in Uruguay, then moved to Mexico, eventually moved to Korea before getting the Porto job. That is a very, very fun little jump around there. That is a very fun little jump around. Tim Bassist is absolutely right. You start with the express idea of doing a Journeyman save, though, right, because you don't like switch teams. That makes sense. Having a set goal right off the top. Mr. Grizzly P is going to do some sleepy bingo. Zerachul's going to try and cheat. Fair enough. Quadmo is trying to defend his meta 4-2-3-1. And Johnson is delaying his post-training shower just to play bingo. Bless you, sire. Bless you, sire, indeed. So, well, Smithy, I don't know why I emphasised Welsh and then kind of tailed off on Smithy there. I'm doing an Everton save with your cousin. She supports them. Currently playing 4-4-2 with Patson Daka and Victor Gyökeres up front. That's an interesting approach. How does Patson Daka develop? Because obviously everyone was very, very excited about him in his Red Bull days, and it never quite materialised once he moved to Leicester. Kalkus Mouse is born too late for Pele and Maradona, born just in time to witness target forward Fellaini, the greatest of them all. The greatest of them all, for sure. For sure. Right, okay, I'm about to start the game. So if you've got this open in another tab, hop on over to it, and that countdown should already be underway. Last time featured iconic players like Danny Rose. Exactly. Well, you managed to change your name for once. Well, hey, beautiful. Cock's Mouse still has a soft spot for Derrida. There's a throwback for sure. Zerachul had Jamie Carragher in a game of icons. Are you suggesting that he's not an icon? Shocking. Right on cue, Zerachul. Right on cue. There is Jamie Carragher. So I suppose we've got to play that one there, right? Hello to Mateus. Did he get 2? I don't know if he's got 2 Champions League titles. So I'm leaving that one out. Samuel Kafour. I don't feel confident on that one either, so we'll let that one pass. Marsh, time for you to say that Henri played for Real. I mean, we all do it somewhere along the line, right? Somewhere we all make those mistakes. Well, and we can blame it on misclicks because no one can see whether it was or not, which is the beautiful, beautiful thing about it. I can have a play Theo Walcott for Everton. Wayne Bridge. I don't have a mortal enemy of John Terry option there, unfortunately, so we'll have to let that one run through. Did Jurgen Klinsmann win the Golden Boot whilst he was in the Premier League? That would be the question I have here. I don't feel comfortable with it, so we'll let that one run. Tom Cleverley, one of Watford's longest tenured managers. He only lasted 3 weeks, but that makes him the 4th longest manager in the last 20 years. Gal Clichy, we'll let that run. Oh, Georgios Setoridis. Be still my beating heart. Did he go to Atletico Madrid? Or am I thinking about the other one? I might be thinking about the other one. Oops. Oh well. I do love Setoridis though. Right, Gary Lineker. I'm assuming that the Premier League Golden Boot only includes the Premier League. Ricardo Carvalho, Champions League title with Chelsea and with Porto, potentially? At least that's what I'm working on there. Right, Claudio Taffarel is South American. What a wonderful, wonderful free kick taking goalkeeper he was, eh? Ronald de Boer, we're letting that one run. Pavel Nedved. Was he at Lazio before Juventus? I have an image of him wearing light blue. I've done it. I've done it now. I may come to regret that, but I have done it. R9. We're going to play him with Zidane. Were they at Real Madrid at the same time? I should really think about these things before I click those buttons, shouldn't I? Is Piotr Trokowski Polish? He sounds pretty Polish, doesn't he? So we're going to go with it. There are some clever people in here, and Crodmo. Don't do yourself a disservice. You are certainly around average. I love you, my dude. I love you. Unless it features icons like Bernd Hollerback and Walter Frosch, you'll be shit. I mean, we've had one German. That counts for something, right? Hopefully. Daka was really good in FM23, was he now? Fair enough. Did Peter Odemwingie ever end up in the Chinese Super League? I feel like he could have done. Gonna skip Paul Ince. Looks like I'm probably going to be skipping Ciro Ferrara as well. Ed De Hoy. There is a man with a wonderful receding hairline at a young age. Jerzy Dudek up next. We're going to give that one a skip. Clint Dempsey. Landon Donovan. Right, we've reached the American phase. That's going to be another skip there. We've got Bruno Alves. We can play for Porto reasonably confidently. And Ricardo will now be a skip. Ramirez. Ramirez went to China, didn't he? Ramirez went to China. I think. Juan Sebastian Veron. I've panicked clicked Copa America there. Thinking about how long it was that Argentina went without winning it. I'm not feeling good about that. Gaika Mendieta. Why don't I have a Real Madrid and Middlesbrough as an option? The classic combination there. Marcelo Gallardo, we skipped past. We're going to be skipping past. Surely Di Stefano won the Golden Boot in Spain. Did they have a Golden Boot in Spain at that time is really where my question comes from. Nikola Kalinic. There we've got a little bit of a legend. I see people suggesting that Trukowski played for Germany and is Czech. That's a bit of a bugger for me. That is a bit of a bugger for me. Because Mendieta didn't play for Real Madrid. Fair point. A very, very fair point. David Pizarro. I don't think he makes any of those criteria. Neither does Joe Hart. Michael Laudrup. Mark Overmars for Arsenal and Barcelona. Hatem Ben Arfa didn't win the Premier League Golden Boot. Ruben Baraka has not been managed by Unai Emery. Martin Palermo, Oliger, Michael Owen for the Premier League Golden Boot. We are now just looking for Emery players. Thierry Henry is not one of them. Teddy Sheringham is not one of them. Vincent Candela is not one of them. Ruud Gullit is not. Angelo D'Olivio isn't. And therefore, we are saying that quite famously, Unai Emery has managed Ferenc Puskás. Absolutely. He played for Barcelona and Valencia. Valencia was who I was thinking of. And Draw. Sensational work, Draw. Beautiful. Grizzly P fell for the Trukowski trap as well. But Draw is absolutely sensational there. Another bingo. Coming in ahead of Mr. Grizzly P and Chrono, who did phenomenally well. 15 out of 16 correct. It's sensational. And then we've got in joint fourth, FMGNG and DMB, just ahead of Fuller, CJ and Rich. Wonderful, wonderful stuff there. But once again, Zerachol is still to come. We don't know where Zerachol will fit in that particular setup there. Oh my, Welsh Smithy comes in, pushes down GNG and DMB. They drop down to joint fifth. Smithy in at fourth with 14 correct. Wonderful work, sir. Wonderful work. The applause for Draw, very much deserved. Very much deserved indeed. So Cocky Smash is still confused which of those players was in the Saudi League. I'm very, very much confused with who may have come through that was managed by Emery. Welcome in, by the way, Brazilian Fury. Lovely to see you, my dude. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well, and I hope that you managed to miss the horrendous round of bingo for some of us there. Crodmo, sir, would you mind giving Brazilian a shout out? Because if you guys aren't following Brazilian Fury, you most definitely should be. Most definitely should be. Marsh was going to put R9 for Inter in the last second because I saw them last second, but changed to Nicky Bar. Oh, that's frustrating. That's frustrating. Carvalho did not win 2 or more Champions Leagues. Did he not? Did he not?
Oh, you beauty! What a head, son! What a head!
Oh, welcome in, Toscanico. Thank you very much for the raid. Hello, raiders. I hope you are all doing well. How was the stream, sir? Lovely to have you guys in. How are things getting on? I am currently questioning the decision by Bingo to say that Ricardo Carvalho has only won one Champions League. And Bingo is in fact correct. He didn't win a Champions League with Chelsea. He didn't win a Champions League with Real Madrid. I know nothing. So if you guys aren't aware, my name is MustermannFM. We are currently in the 11th season of a journeyman save where we are now at AC Milan. We've been here for 2 years. This is now us entering our 3rd season. We've played 3 games so far. A 3-0 win against Lazio, a 3-0 win against Fiorentina, and a 2-0 defeat against Juventus. And we head into the next game against Bari. So I hope you're all doing well. It's lovely to have you guys in. So you got Ronaldo. You put him underplayed with Ronaldo. It told me that was wrong, but he didn't play with himself. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure he did at some point. All boys go through a stage, right? You needed into players and kept getting AC Milan legends. That's always unfortunate. Enjoyed the 10 FM saves video I did for Brazilian Fury. It's a wonderful, wonderful video there as well. Also, comment if you get a chance, can you call shout out Toscanico as well, who just raided in. I think there might be a little bit of a cooldown there, so I don't know how quickly or easy it might be to do. So Cromo wants a top 10 Brazilian saves. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Zerachul has said, what the F, it's rigged. That means he's finally come in. Oh, Zerachul, you cruel man, coming in. He gets 15 out of 16 correct on bingo, putting him joint second with Mr. Grizzly P and with Quadmo, and that pushes GNG and DMB out of the points. You cruel man. Thank you very much, Quadmo. So give Toscanico a follow, and if you are still about, I'd love to know, tell the lovely viewers who you're playing with and how the save's going. Be awesome. Right, we are once again going to say relax. I know it's only Bari, it's not as if they should be apprehensive, but we're going with that, and we pop into the game. Raskin takes over in the left defensive midfield slot. Rocha comes back in as the deep line playmaker. Otherwise, it's an unchanged save. We should probably be making some changes, responding to our defeat in the last game, but we're not. We're not, because I didn't think about it. So if the likes goals gets met, then that will be the next Brazilian feud. What is the likes goal? People, you know what to do. You know what to do. Cesarachul was sure that Mendieta played for 2 nations, Spain and Basque. There we go. Did you have a played with 2 nations one as one of your card options? That's very harsh. I mean, sure, Puskas, Di Stefano was in that list eventually, but you're having to hold out for a very, very limited pool of players that are going to meet that criteria. As Ardagula takes fire from long range and Vitek turns it away. Bastard. So Crommo might have liked this video 4 times on 4 different YouTube accounts. Quite possibly. Beautiful stuff. Di Stefano played for 3. Are you suggesting, Crodmo, that Di Stefano shouldn't count as played for 2 nations because he actually played for more, and you consider 2 nations to be exactly 2 nations? Is that what you're going for? Yeah, but that's the tricky thing with it, isn't it, Zerachul? Is because there's so few, can you really hold out on the hope that they're going to come up in the remainder of the list? Marsh has just signed Dan Burn. Lovely stuff as Menegazo fires a good save from Atabolo, tips it over. I would like us to score a goal, please, guys. We're going to encourage as Fazzini fires over. We're at home against Bari. We dropped points at home against Bari last season, if I remember correctly. So we do have some history of struggling there as Ardagula fails. It's Pietro Rolando's team. That's why. It's Pietro Rolando, that bastard. I will never in my whole life forgive Pietro Rolando for what he did to us at the beginning of this save. In season number 3, with us on course for an unbeaten season in the Vikers Liga. The penultimate game, Pietro Rolando scores a header at the far post from a corner, taking away our unbeaten season. Pietro Orlando is the enemy. We've won a penalty, though. And that penalty is going to be taken by Arda Güler. Arda Güler took an awful penalty in the Club World Cup. He's put it away, though, this time. No doubt about that.
Turning Milanese got me turning Milanese when the score goes.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Milanese got me turning Milanese when the score goes.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Milanese got me turning Milanese when the score goes.
It's a penalty. We shouldn't really celebrate. There's a bit of an overkill for penalty. But that is what we need. Let's get ourselves ahead. And now let's dismantle Bari and that bastard Pietro Orlando. Welcome in, Root, as well. Lovely to see you, my dude. How are you doing? How is everything going with Malden and Tiptree as well? Here's D'Alessio. D'Alessio tries to find the angle. Just sends it just wide. That's a lot of chances for Bari. Let's have a look here. We're struggling against their three. I think we need to do a little bit of thinking about how they're set up. So we've got Keita and Menegazo. Keita is on the right, so that's going to be Raskin's man. I want you picking up Keita. Rocha to pick up Menegazo. Benato to pick up Texera. Against a 5, they were all marking the wrong players, so hopefully that will give us a little bit more control there as we go on. So technically it should say played for 2+ nations. I mean, I haven't seen, I guess it does. I don't know. Who knows? Puskas is then, unless you count Castile. Absolutely count Castile. Just as I count Basque, Catalan, and any other semi-autonomous region. Now, I was asking Root about his wonderful save with Tipton and Malden and Tiptree. Root is relatively new on the scene. We have rated out to him after a couple of league sessions. If you're not giving him a follow, do give a consideration. It's a lovely, lovely chap. As we go close, hits the woodwork. Benato back into Arda Güler. Shot blocked. Benato was offside. There we go. So when you score goals, I know I've mentioned this before, but if you have a chance to check out the Kirsten Dunst cover, you absolutely should, because it's not bad, but also a very, very surreal thing to see. Crudmo prefers Taunton and Miptree. Everyone loves a little bit of a Miptree, right? Right, here's Albert Navarro. Come on, sending across. Let's go 2-0 up at half-time. It can't quite make its way through to Nuama. They get it clear, only as far as Doner Kebab. Doner Kebab's going to send the cross in. Look, what's happened there? Is that an own goal? It's an own goal. For a moment, I thought that was going to be a Doner Kebab goal, but a low cross fired in, takes a deflection off the defender, and that is our 2-0 lead that we needed. Like Doner Kebab with the cross. Yeah, Fazzini just couldn't get himself out of the way. He did the whole movement that you've got to love, but still wasn't enough to get his dangling foot out of the way, and it just nestles in at the corner. An unfortunate situation for the defender there, but surely one of our wonderful players in the box was going to put it away anyway. There's no doubt about that. We've never had problems with scoring really easy chances before, so we would have scored either way. All right, Navarro back to Bjornrod. Bjornrod back all the way to Atabulo now. Atabulo's been given the captain's armband this season. He finds, here's Benato out wide. Ernest Nuama holds the width. Plays it inside to Rocha. Rocha across to Raskin. Raskin finds Arda Güler.
Ain't nobody I'd rather be. Can't take that away from me.
Arda Güler with his second goal of the game. Raskin with yet another assist. He's settling in quite well. And we go in 3-0 up at half-time, which is good. We're going to say happy things. We're going to bring off booked players. So that's going to be two changes. It's going to be Amiri Hasuki's first appearance this season. We're going to bring on HJ Bockers at left back as well. And we are going to drop the tempo in the second half. Let's just have a bit. I'm happy with possession. Let's have even more control potentially. and head on into that second half. All we've got to essentially do is see out 45 minutes. Marsh, you've made a very big mistake at signing your goalkeeper. What's the mistake, Marsh? Did you sign Aaron Ramsdale? That's an unforgivable mistake. Otherwise, just blame it on the game being unfair to you. So Fazzini's given away a penalty, scored an own goal. He's not having a good day. He's not having a good game. Raskin, the GOAT, isn't he just? Oh, Ardagula, I thought that was about to be a penalty, but here's Teixeira to Targa. Targa, well done. Bokkers just hoofs it away and out of touch. In the first minute, Bari started a little bit brighter there. Okay, 3 minutes in, and it's going to be a corner. It's going to be Mathias Abline to send it in at the far post. And that's going to be João Teixeira with 1 goal back. Abline sends it in. Raskin misses his header, but really there were 2 players unmarked at the back post there. We're going up to higher tempo. Let's do that. Is there going to be a response straight away? No, it's cut out. Here's Kebab, finds Nuama. Nuama now tries to beat his man. Keita does the job, puts it out for a throw-in. Danger gone. So Matt, welcome in. Laszlo Kubala and Di Stefano hold the record for representing the most national teams. Both have played for 3. Beautiful. Cromwell tells me to stop singing out of time. I mean, I'm singing in time as far as I'm concerned. But the lag, sadly, evidently is caused a bit of an issue there. Because there will be input lag between the soundboard and the microphone and the interface that handles it. So I'm sorry, you'll have to deal with it. You'll have to deal with it. Unlucky in the game, lucky in the betting booth. And that's all you need, right? A red card now until they've done a Jonathan Woodgate. Wouldn't you have just as Paolo Benato? What's the ref questioning here? Surely he wasn't offside. How can he be offside from that? He was...
Go for the fans, it's because AC Milan will come on. Let's go mental in the stands. Goals for the fans, it's because AC Milan will come on. Let's go mental in the stands.
Beautiful stuff. Paolo Benato, I don't think he's short, but he's not known for his heading. Ernest Nuama sends the cross in. He was well behind play, no question whatsoever. It's a powerful, thumping header. 4-1. Ardagula on a hat-trick, fires it against the bar. Nice, quick, snappy highlights. That's what we like to see. In the second half, could we be getting 4-2? It's livened up quite a bit. Keita sends it in. Scamacca gets his head on it, puts it behind for yet another corner. So you signed the Spanish goalkeeper you put in Discord. About 70% of his shots, he's palmed in. That's frustrating. Hopefully it will improve as the season goes on. We had it with Atabolo last season, like his first in 15 games, I was starting to question it, but by the end of the season, he started to come good. Thank God. Thank God. Right, Pietro Rolando has been substituted off. I can be a happy and relieved man. Right, Ricardo Rocha is going to come off. We're going to bring on Jens Kajuste for his first appearance of the season. We're going to bring on Pizza Pasta at right back, our third defensive change there. And we're going to bring on Sydney Osazua for Scamacca. And in that situation, let's try him as a target forward on attack. So keep it up. That is all 3 substitutions remaining used at the last moment there. We had probably not the best use of our stoppages and things, but who cares? Here's Benato. Lovely back heel to Raskin. Raskin finds Kajuste. Kajuste. Great save from Vitek. Dimitriou heads it away from danger. I think we're going to see things out now, or are we? Ardagula sends it in. Pizza Pasta on as a substitute. Thumper. Oh, Pizza Pasta, an absolutely thumping header. He spent the last couple of seasons out on loan just because of the number of defenders that we had. We transitioned from a back 3 to a back 4, and that meant we had a sophiat of central defenders. He could well be our starting right back long term. Doner Kebab has that place at the moment, but it is Pizza Pasta's to win off him, potentially. Draw says the game's Legends bingo is even more fun than regular bingo. Another sensational round from you, Draw. I don't know if you caught it earlier. The applause came through thick and fast. Sensational work. Right, Maestro's got to pop off. No worries. Thank you very much for dropping by. Very much appreciated, my dude. Very much appreciated. Hope you have a lovely week. A Night of Knee asks if we have pizza pasta. Do we have antipasto? We don't have an antipasto at the moment, or an antipasti, or an antipasta. We could have all the antipast. They are there. Doesn't mean that they have to be mutually exclusive, but someone needs to name them, name a new gen accordingly. Now that's whether I've even got that enabled at the moment. Well, I'll have to check that afterwards. Welcome in, Kai. Lovely to see you. Pizza pasta scores from a corner. An Italian classic. Exactly. Right, just 15 seconds remain. Surely this is just the highlight that shows the final whistle. Or is Nuama about to do something here? He finds Kajuste, goes back to Raskin. Game over. 5-1 is a good response to the last result. I did start to worry a little bit when Bari pulled one back. But I think we can be content. Massively outperformed our XG. So, you know, I imagine that Bari feel a little aggrieved that way. It's 3 wins and 4. It's okay. It's okay. Inter, of course, have won all their games so far. Sassuolo currently in second with 3 wins and 1 draw. Nice to see Sassuolo up there. Argulo on form, transfer deadline passes. Right, we need to sort out our player registration. Can I just go straight down the list? We've got a decent number of homegrown players, right? We have enough. Beautiful stuff. We've got 4 players trained by Milan. We've got 8 players trained by Italy. We've got exactly the right numbers. So we've even registered under 21 players like Avia, Mr. Dickel, and Gianni Ricci. So beautiful stuff. We didn't have to register them, which is nice. Alexander Isak with nobody coming in to bid for him is in the squad as well. We might as well make use of him in this last season if no one's gonna buy him. He's in the last year of his contract. That's not the worst thing for us to have to deal with. Right, and now there we go. We've got Mr. Grizzly P has redeemed new gen nickname. Johnson has redeemed new gen nickname. Johnson has gone for antipasta. Shall we have a one down here? Antipasta will be Rivo Ravelskis, or Rivo Ravelskis will be antipasta. Specifically with 2 T's, since it's an actual Finnish name. We're going for anti, like Antti Niemi. Beautiful stuff. And Mr. Grizzly P, what do you want to name a player? And I have so far, up until this point, I have held off on renaming Ricardo Rocha. So we've already renamed Mr. Duckle, we've renamed Rod, we've renamed Hasuki, we've renamed Donna Kebab, Pizza Pasta, HJ Bockers. We've got Gianni Ricci, who will probably be the next player to be renamed, and they're going to be renamed Green Curry. Thai food is taking over the world. That's fair. I do love a green curry, to be fair. Green curry. Beautiful stuff. Cool. Right. I can put 1 player in here, and we're going to make that Osazuwa. Let's get him some game fitness. No, let's not. Let's do it with a player that's definitely not going to play in the next game, because the game against Empoli is 2 days away. So that will be Mr. Duckle will get that spot. Although they're not even putting him in the squad. There we go. Let's hope that forces him in for that game. Potentially. A Night of Knee approves. Antipasta, gotta love the chat. They come through. They come through when you need them to. It's wonderful stuff. Antti Niemi's not finished. He's only 28. He's not finished. It's a classic, isn't it? It's a classic DMB. Sensational stuff. Right. I did forget to make. I must apologize, by the way, guys. did forget to mention that tonight is going to be a slightly shorter stream than normal. Probably going to be finishing around 9:30ish, because I've got a couple of other bits I want to get done this evening before I sleep. But so I reckon that we've probably got another couple of games in us. Empoli, and then our opening Champions League game, home against Tottenham. So I think we might try and rotate just a couple of players. Not major rotation, but just a couple of players for this game against Empoli. It is away, that is risky. But if we can have a fresh squad for the Champions League game, I think that will certainly help us, right? So, Root, I am finished. Lol, well, for today you are. I mean, there we go. There we go. DM basis, have we heard any official word on the drop yet? So, yeah, as I said, I've filled out more stuff. I've sent off all the references, paperwork, everything like that. I had a conversation with the HR guy that I spoke to previously, just sort of talking about annual leave requirements. They're firming up the induction plan by the end of this week. So, I mean, it all looks good, but I'm just not going to celebrate until everything's done. I've had the written offer, but that is an offer, not a confirmation. That obviously will rely on them then saying, hey, everything's all done now, and perfect. So yeah, I mean, it's looking good. It's looking promising. I don't have any worries about things like references and stuff. I've just signed the written offer, not a full contract. So yeah, that's all pretty positive. But yeah, who knows what could go wrong between now and September the 1st, which is when it starts. Fingers crossed. Bless you, Zerachel. So yeah, absolutely party time when it all comes through. Exactly that. Written contract, Matt. As in written. It's with Warburtons, so the bread people over here in England. Now, I'm already a fat fuck, so working for a company where I potentially get cheap bread as well is a bad sign. A bad sign. Welcome in, Sega. Long time, lovely to see you. You've been busy traveling to France and visiting relatives, going back tomorrow to Peru. Tell me, how is the save going? Well, okay, so where did we last leave off, Sega? So we were in Germany. After spending 4 years in Finland, we moved to Germany. We went to Darmstadt. They were in the relegation zone when we took over halfway through the season. We saved them for relegation. We got them promoted the next season to the Bundesliga. Finished in European places 2 seasons running, and then abandoned them for AC Milan. 2 seasons we've played with AC Milan. We've finished runners-up both times. So this is the start of our 3rd season, and hopefully the beginning of our first title in like seven seasons in this save. That's got to be the hope. Right, the changes we're going to make. We're going to bring in Hasuki. Pardon me. For Björn Rod. We know Björn Rod has low natural fitness and struggles when there are 2 games a week. We're going to bring in Pizza Pasta at right back. We're going to bring in Kajuste for Raskin, so that Raskin is fresh for the next game. And we're going to bring in Lucas Roman up front. So that's 4 changes. Hopefully not too many. That's essentially the hope there. 3 of them are lacking a bit of sharpness, so there is a bit of concern, but hopefully we'll be all right. I mean, is this green curry related to Steph? I mean, he is now. We get to write his law, right? So that all counts. So Root, you said you're trying to get to 200 followers before birthday stream on the 10th of August. You're 16 away. And hopefully, fingers crossed. I hope people have popped on over from the shout out. You've got this, Root. When are you next streaming? Let people know when they can come in and catch you. Right, let's tell them that we have faith. They're attacking on the left-hand side, which is Rocha's side. So Rocha takes Elitu. Cajuste takes the attacking midfielder. And Bonato will have to come across and take Rodriguez. And then let's see how we get on. Beautiful stuff. And Zeratul, I see the mystery minigame. We'll do that. So there's another break coming up allegedly in 6 minutes, which I'll obviously push back if the game's still going. We'll go on the break. We'll come back. We'll play bingo. And then we can end with the Tottenham game, which should be nice. So John's talking about work. Looks like you'll have to cover the new hire again tomorrow. Been sick for like 5 weeks in a row. That is frustrating. That is frustrating. Well, Smithy, we have a bad batch indeed. And the only thing we can do with a bad batch is I need to take it home and eat it. It's the only solution. Derrichall says, yay for new hires. But also, being a manager, you hate new people. Or you just hate people again. Make robots great again. I get that. I get that. Right, Machoi. We'll send the corner in. Yannick can't get there to the first ball. Skamaka gets the second ball, but Tengstedt comes away with it. Tengstedt running down the side. Pizza Pasta cuts it out. Pocho just hoofs it clear. And here's Guglielmi. Guglielmi? Isn't that is it Guglielmi that is the name of the Austin Powers song? You know, ba 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 da boom ba 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 boom ba ba da 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 boom ba da 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 boom. That one. Is that Guglielmo? It's something like that, or I'm going mad. Both could be possible, to be fair. Customer service does make you hate people, that is for sure. That is for sure. So John's is convinced there's two groups of people: regular people who just happen to be shopping at your store, then there are customer whose only jobs to come in there and do ask the most stupid shit. I think you're onto something. Oh no, you're not, ref. No, you're not. Look at the ball. The ball was taken cleanly. The ball was taken so cleanly. An easy one to overturn. This had better be overturned. Although I am lining up the VAR things. Hey, that'll do. Let's celebrate that for sure.
Milan, come together, clap your hands, save me. Scoring goals, AC Milan.
And we celebrate a real goal.
Milan have scored again. Yes, Milan, they score all night and day. You can get away.
Oh, double celebration, penalty overturned. Gianluca Scamacca opens the scoring. That is a wonderful 1 minute turnaround. Beautiful stuff. DM basis, your pension is up by 2.78%. We're in the money. Or you will be in the money in 53 years when you'll eventually be allowed to retire. Right, we can definitely improve, and that's what we're going to tell them. Everyone's reacted positive. I'm not going. Let's do that. See, we've risked it. It didn't result in any bad reactions. That's fine. We are going to. No, we're not going to go slightly more direct. We're just going with the be more expressive in the second half there. We are bringing off though. Paolo Bonato's coming off, and we're going to have a look at Osasuna as a target forward alongside Scamacca in the second half. That's the hope. So the Austin Powers theme is Soul Bossa Nova by Quincy Jones. So it's another one of those. There's another one of those era songs that is. I'm sure there is something. I'm sure there is something there. So Mr. Grizzly P, it's going to be his son who was named after Draymond. Then Green, interesting. I see where you're going with there. Right, could you stay with the shot? It falls to Rocha. Rocha makes it 2-0. The referee's fine with it. It's a goal.
Turning Milanese got me turning Milanese when the score goes. Turning Milanese got me turning Milanese when the score goes. Turning Milanese got me turning Milanese when the score goes.
2-0. I mean, it is just Empoli, and they're like 18th. But you know, every goal counts as far as we're concerned. Here is Elmas, finds Burian. Rodriguez back into Victor Elutu. Elutu finds Guglielmi. Guglielmi shoots from distance. Atabolo scrambles across, then dives the other way. and pushes it behind for a corner. Can they do anything here? Matt Choi sends it in. Monterisi, Skamaka to the second ball. McAtee comes away with it. Inside to Matt Choi, to Rodriguez, to Burian. Burian's forced to go back out to Eluto. Skamaka steps in. Good defending in the end. Arda Güler has picked up a knock. That's a bugger. That is a bugger indeed. So on comes Green Curry. Off comes Ricardo Rocha, and on comes Bernie Arse. And we are going to do another round of demand more. So it looks like another highlight for Empoli. Guglielmi back to Gamba. Wiggles, doesn't go anywhere on the foot really. McAtee with a shot, it's blocked, it's behind, and it's fine. So well, Smithy, you've dedicated yourself to learning more about PC hardware. You've tweaked some parts for marginal gains for the same price. I mean, you can't knock that then. You can't knock that at all. Right, Cockasoo's in. Welcome in, my dude. How are you? How's your weekend been? Lovely to see you. Good to catch you earlier in Culture Left Foot's chat as well. I welcome on in. Dead-Eyed Snake as well. Welcome in. Lovely to see you. How'd you get the players' faces at the bottom? So you can edit the skins. If you pop on over to the SI forums, you'll be able to get answers on how to add it and approach it in a way that you might choose to do so. Right, let's now start to kill the game. That's far too many chances for Empoli. They're a rubbish team. We've already pointed out that they're rubbish, and yet they seem to be turning the screw on us a little bit. We're going to bring on Alexander Isak. We're going to bring on HJ Bockers. And that's our 5 substitutions. I'm going to snooze the ad. Oh, managed to get there just in time. Beautiful stuff. I almost got caught out there. So Dembele says, now you're going to get whatever age I need to be to cash out that lump sum and then blowing it all whilst I can. Bravo suggests drugs and hookers. He can't confirm or deny, and I think that sounds like a fine plan. Amuro Hisuki marks his first start of the season with an own goal. It's going to be a nervy last few moments. It's Morgan Rogers there, laying it off to Burian, gets the return pass, and then he just plays the cross in, and Amuro Hisuki, just not really sure what he was doing there, goes with his weaker foot and somehow turns it into his own net, and there are now 6 minutes that we need to hold on. We're going to tell the players to focus. It's not been a classic game. Empoli probably have every right to feel that they might have done enough to come away with something, and as we tick over the 6 minutes, they hoof it out. And surely this throw-in is going to be where the referee blows his whistle. HJ Bockers is going to milk the clock as much as he possibly can. Like a dairy farmer, he does so, and we have the win. That's 2-1 away from home against Empoli. Not a classic performance by any stretch, but with a semi-rotated side, got to be kind of content with that. So that one defeat against Juventus is the difference between us and Inter so far. And then our next game will be against Tottenham in the Champions League. We will be popping on a break for a few moments, though. That's about to come up. So we will disappear on a 3-minute break. We will then play a round of bingo, as redeemed by the glorious, the beautiful Zerachel. And then we will have the final Champions League game against Tottenham. Let me just catch up. So Night of Nia is saying maybe Henry Mancini Baby Elephant Walk. It's very similar. It definitely has a name beginning with G. Let me. It's like Guillermo, but it's not Guillermo. It's got something along those lines. Let's try. Just going to do a quick search behind. Oh, that'll be what I'll be doing on the break, is trying to work out what that song is. It definitely begins with a G. It definitely has a sound to the name. That's all I remember. It's got a similar vibe to Soul Bossa Nova. It might also have been used in the soundtrack or soundtrack for another film. I can't even think of who the act is. We'll get there. I'll come back from the break and hopefully we'll know. So that's a good prompt as any to pop on over. I'm going to see you guys in about 3 minutes. And then, as I said, we'll be back for bingo. See you shortly. Right, we're back, and I might have some bad news. Because I have previously mocked how the Play Football Games football bingo options included just one club. They had an option for a Tottenham specific version of bingo, but they have since added a second club, and it's Aston Villa. Could I really put you all through a round of Aston Villa bingo? No, I won't. I won't do that to you. Let's play a regular round of global bingo, because I don't want to chase you all away right off the top. So in chat right now, you have a link to pop on over to the lobby. If you haven't played bingo before, I'll explain the rules. It's really straightforward. Once you're heading into the lobby and I click start, you will be given a unique bingo card with 16 squares. It will contain things like clubs or nations or competitions or awards. We then all receive the same list of 60 players, one after the other, and it's our job to work out whether that player matches.
It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh my Jabbits, thank you so much. With your prime as well, you are a gentleman. You are an absolute gentleman. Thank you so much. Yes, so if it matches one of those squares, click on the square. Perfect, nice and easy. If it doesn't match one of those squares, skip. Nice and simple, or you can let the 10-second timer run out. Your job is to get 16 matches, and then you get a bingo. You get a bingo like Draw did earlier on. You get a bingo like Mr. Grizzly P did earlier on. You get a bingo like Crudmo did earlier on. There are some very, very smart people in this chat. Good luck with it all. Obviously, once you click on a square, however, that's locked in. You can't undo it. You can't put another player in that square. I'm going to give it about another minute for anyone that wants to join to head on in. And then I'll give you a little bit of a pre-warning before I start out. For those that were wondering, I was talking about that song that I thought was like the Austin Powers theme. It's Guaglione by Perez Prado. Now, Perez Prado, the way I eventually found it in the end was I remembered it was Perez Prado. Perez Prado is the man who was covered by Mambo Number 5, Lou Bega's for Mambo Number 5. That's a sample of a Perez Prado song. The song that I was looking for that looked like Guglielmo is called Guaglione. Guaglione. We got there in the end. Oh, damn, bassist. I actually wanted to go for the Villa version. Maybe I will subtly sneak it in a future week. Because Zoachal also just went, oh my god, no, thank god. Marsh says, surely 9 last-minute goals conceded in a season is a record for one team. Marsh, that is pretty rotten. Although, are you playing a high-intensity setup by any chance? I have found that the more intense the setups tend to be, I did a video about this with Tempo, that more intense setups tend to result in a higher proportion of goals being conceded in like the last 15 minutes or the injury time periods of games. There might be something that can be addressed there. Right, we're going to start the game now. So if you've got this over in another tab in a browser, head on over and you will see the countdown should be starting. Night of Knee, we could go with bingo with Perez Prado. That would be fun. See how many weird little noises we could include. Here we go. Maybe we are doing Aston Villa bingo because we're starting off with Stilian Petrov, a wonderful, wonderful human being whose son, maybe not quite so wonderful, unfortunately. The wonderfully named Alphonse Areola. You know, sometimes I've just got this feeling about Areola that he's just like a, in a roundabout way, bit of a tit. Nicholas Füllkrug, Germany's wonderful Bundesliga top scorer a couple of seasons back. Iva Banega, there's a name I haven't thought about for a while. Might have played with Messi for the Argentinian team. I know he moved around quite a few Spanish clubs, but I don't really know which ones to feel confident on that there. Robbie Fowler. Did Robbie Fowler ever win the Golden Boot? I'm going with it. I think I'm going to regret that, but you know, you miss some of the chances you don't go for. Was Hulk at Porto when Mourinho was there? I don't think he was, so I've let that one go. Alexander Isak was at Sociedad before Newcastle, so I'm letting that one go. Leonardo Bonucci. What was his move? Was he into Juventus, or I'm thinking of someone else possibly? Diego Jota. Obviously awful news this summer there. Casemiro up next. We'll go with a Champions League winner for him. Cesc Fabregas. Where was he before Arsenal? I mean, he came through Arsenal's. Like he moved into the youth team there, so actually that's not really relevant in terms of the questions I was asking. Edin Dzeko was at Roma at some point, wasn't he? I've ran out of time anyway. At least I noticed before I put Wataru Endo at Roma. Let that one run out. Daniel De Rossi, we could definitely lock that in for Roma though. Kendry Paz. Gonna skip there. Goran Pandev. I can't think of Goran Pandev's. I don't think he matches any of those. John Barnes we can play though. Federico Di Marco. Has he won maybe the Europa League? Don't think he has, so I'm going to skip on that one. I am going to play Divock Origi for Belgium. Jesus Navas, I think of as Sevilla. Did he ever end up at Villarreal at some point? It's plausible. Martin Dubravka, I don't think he matches any of those. The Ronaldo, I don't think he matches any of those. Jan Oblak, obviously he spent a large period at Atletico. Did he spend time in France? I could see him at Marseille like 10 years ago. That feels believable. Ibrahima Konate. I'm not having fun with this. I'm struggling. I am struggling big time. Moise Keane. Gonna give that one a skip. We go Rodri. Rodri, I don't feel good about Rodri either. Manuel Neuer. That's by Marino. Messi. I'm having a rotten time. Nicholas Otamendi, I'm skipping. Mauro Icardi. Played with Messi? I know he's trying to play with Messi's wife. I believe there was a little bit of thing there, wasn't there? But yeah, not feeling good about that one. Deco for Mourinho at Porto, though. That one I can play without any questions at all. Serge Gnabry, I'm going to skip. Lucas Podolski, I'm going to skip. Nwankwo Kanu. That's also... no, so Nigeria, isn't he? We can play that one. That's no problem. Ademola Lookman. Obviously, he missed those penalties for Atalanta. He scored that hat-trick, for Atalanta against Leverkusen. That was the Europa League, right? Toy Andre Flo. Henning Berg. Okay, we're now hitting the Scandinavian players of yesteryear. German players of yesteryear as well. Filippo Inzaghi next. Dejan Lovren. Lovren came from Lyon, right? Jerome Boateng. Not feeling good on that one either. Robert Sanchez. Oh, where's Higuain played? Higuain's played at loads of teams. Has he played with Messi for Argentina? That's what I'm going with. Lucas Ocampos. I keep on looking at that and thinking it's Sevilla. Toby Alderweireld. Jeremy Doku. Where was Doku before he moved to Man City? I feel like that would have been like a Rennes or something like that. Patrick Vieira. Did he ever play for Monaco? No, I'm leaving these all a little bit too late. We're now down to 9 for 3 remaining. The most amount of Rodriguez. I don't think he was a Villarreal player. Harry Kane definitely isn't any of those. Dimitar Berbatov definitely played for Monaco. Parejo plays for Villarreal. So we are now looking for Olympique Marseille's Wayne Rooney. Olympique Marseille's Fernando Llorente. Olympique Marseille's Robin Limorman. Olympique Marseille's Joshua Zirkzee. I feel we're getting colder. We are going with, obviously, Olympique Marseille's Jack Grealish. And so Jack Grealish was a failure. But Fuller has made it another bingo in this stream. Sensational work, sir. Sensational work. You thought you blew it on Robbie Fowler, but you didn't. And you've confirmed that Doku was at Rennes. Thank you very much, sir. Crodmo's having a terrible night. Johnson was sure that R9 would have won the Serie A Golden Boot at some point. That seems like a reasonable guess there. Grizzly P says Kokchu doesn't count for Turkish League. I mean, he hasn't played in the league yet, but come on. I mean, it's hard for him to count for the Turkish League if he hasn't played in it. Oh, and there we go. 7 minutes. Serachul comes in and gets himself a bingo as well. Trying to steal Fuller's thunder, but that's not going to happen. Sensational work from both of you guys. And then we have sensational work from Draw, from Samuel Edozie fan, from Mr. Grizzly P, from Crodmo, from Johnson. How on earth you are all joint third with 15 out of 16? Oh, that is a wonderful, wonderful work. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. So let's pop on over. And now we go into a game against Tottenham. So original Mambo number 5 was recorded by Perez Pardo in 1949. Exactly, yes. That was the link we got. I was like, I remember it's the Mambo number 5 guy that did Guaglione. Right, for this game, we are bringing in Green Curry for Arda Güler because he has taken a knock. He is fit enough to play, but we'll have him off the bench. We've brought Bjorn Rod back into the starting lineup. Otherwise, it's the same team as before. A home game out. I need to remember. Let's make sure I have desktop audio on as we go in for a little bit of Champions League wonders here. We've got Luis Enrique's Tottenham Hotspur. They've got Pau Kabasi at centre-back. We're going to tell them there's no pressure. I'm going to tell the midfield there's no pressure as well. But I'm going to tell the strikers and defenders that I have faith in them. We're up against a 4-3-3. Sarr is on the right. Because Sarr is on the right, he is picked up by our man on the left. And that is Raskin. That means Rocha has to pick up Cohen. And Bonato is expected to pick up Matthew Frost. And then we should be good to go. Need to respect the anthem. Right? So Mr. Grizzly is too injured to play enough matches to secure one. I mean, that's a fair point on R9 there. A very, very fair point on R9 there. The Fuller wasn't sure if Liverpool won the UEFA Cup before Fowler left. Lucky I guessed right. Which UEFA Cup would that have been? Would that have been the Alaves one? Wasn't that the crazy 5-4 game? The Mickey Mouse treble. Night of Need doesn't want to disclose his bingo results. Don't worry, it's off screen now. No one will know. Maxi Rodriguez came in clutch for Zerachul as an Atletico and Liverpool player. 2 clubs you know little about. That is useful. Here we go, though. Here is Tottenham. Kristalovic fires over. Couple of shots from each. Well, 1 shot from each team so far in the early exchanges. We seem to have a little bit more of the momentum. We do seem to be a bit more established in their half, but we're now 20 minutes in. We haven't had a highlight, so we're going to demand a little bit more. And that means we do see a highlight where we give the ball away in our own half, Here's Frost, finds Kostalovic. Kostalovic now turns away from Navarro. Navarro tries to stick to him, though, forced back to Thior. And Albert Navarro wins the ball. He just hoofs it clear. And Bonato with a lovely first touch. Bonato tries to run away from the defender. He does so nicely. Can he play it inside to Noama? He can. Noama feeds Scamacca. Oh, what a save from Cardoza. Oh, that should have been a goal. That should have been a goal. Fuller's still annoyed about that FA Cup final. We don't mention it. Don't mention it, right? Marsh, thank you so much for dropping by, my dude. Have a wonderful, wonderful night's sleep. Grizzly P says, however, a striker who was in his shadow and never got a fair chance in the national team has won one. Marcio Amoroso, a fair shout there. Monterisi has got himself sent off. I wasn't even watching. That's a bugger. That is a bugger. And we are controversially going to withdraw Scamacca. So, I'm going to now ask you to go on attack duty. So we still have, we have two players attacking the box when Bonato drops deep, and then Bonato will kind of attack the box a little bit later, potentially. Here's Kostalovic. That's not going to be another red card. What the fuck? Wow. Oh, I literally don't have enough players to mark everything that I need. In fact, let's drop all the way back to that. So you have Sarr, you have Cohen, and so we're going to play wide. Basically, we're going to just try and play the ball out to the guys on the wide, let them do whatever they can do. That's wow. So it was 2001 versus Alaves. There we go. Vito Rocco now. 6 minutes since we went down to 9 men. Feeds Cohen shot. It had to be quick. He was under pressure. Good job from Raskin there to apply pressure, and the shot goes over and wide. So Grizzly P, in all your 95 saves, you've made it a mission to sign either Amoruso, Jardel, Elba, Sonny Anderson, or Luizão, the lost generation of Brazilian strikers. That's a very honourable thing, as Atabolo makes an absolute pig's ear. I think FM's trying to tell us it's time to call it a night. Oh my word. Oh my word. Well, there we go. Are we going to win the fucking Champions League? I mean, at least we just need to win the other 7 games in the league stage, right? We just have to work harder. Bloody hell. Ending the stream on a low, we really are. Now tick distribute to target forward without a forward. We probably should do. Then basically reminds us we have Raskin. It's fine. It is fine. That's a fair point. And it was good defensive work by Raskin that spurned an earlier chance. But here we go. Rod has to cut out the pass out for a throw-in. I mean, how bad is going to... We've done brilliantly. They've only had 5 shots, which is great from a defensive point of view. Obviously, we're not offering anything up front. I don't think we're going to snatch a draw here. Here's Kostelevic. Kostelevic crosses it as Sarr. Hasuki kind of gets in the way, doesn't really get it clear. And that's another couple of shots there. But Atabolo claims. But here's Udogie into Frost. Frost plays it into Sarr. Sarr's pushing very high. I'm not happy with the defending on Sarr. He's got the ball quite a few times as Frost with an absolute thunderbastard. Now that's a goal we can allow them to have. There are no complaints there. What a finish from defensive midfielder Matthew Frost. I mean, I will still complain because that's the player we can't mark. Kostelevic across Frost. Okay, Atabolo actually just missed the dive. So Hussam says, you have to leave for a different city far away from your family for university. Can you share your experience with me so I know what to... Unfortunately, Hussam, I didn't go to university, so I can't really talk about that experience myself, but I don't know if anyone else in the chat wants to deal with it. I mean, ultimately, you know, you might be far away, but in this day and age, you've got all these opportunities, all this ability to keep in contact, phone calls, through the internet, through messaging services. Yes, it's always going to have an element of difficulty, but make sure you keep in contact. Make sure you have those that outreach, and you keep up with your friends, you keep up with your family, but still make friends in the new cities as much as you possibly can. Right, this is going to be painful. This second half has just been chance after chance after chance. I genuinely don't know what to do. Raskin's going on a run there and loses out, understandably. Falcone, right, we are dropping you down to be a wide midfielder. Sarr's in behind again. We're just not paying attention. Right. Edit. Kajuste is coming off. So I moved Raskin away from Sarr because he wasn't picking up Sarr whatsoever. And then Sarr goes through and runs through the next guy as well. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Always good to end on a loan. Here is Udogie. This is a highlight from our corner. Cohen into Kulusevski. Kulusevski got to play it out wide, surely. Here's Falcone. Falcone opens up, sends the cross in. Kulusevski can't get there ahead of Navarro. Raskin now playing out wide. We want his industry out there. Frost to Kulusevski, to Theor. Frost into Sarr. Raskin, good. Putting up the pressure. They're just moving the ball around us. It's Sarr again, just pushing through. We can't handle him. Vito Roque with a shot. Good block. Kubasi now. Pressure's still on. Well done, Nico Raskin. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Nico Raskin, you star. Why isn't it making... How's the ball not gone out of play? Here we go. Kulusevski. Frost picks it up. Plays it out wide to Falcone. Falcone sends the cross in. We can't get it clear. Frost looking for his second. Fires over. Are you going to make the change? What's... Okay, something's... I can't make any changes either. Will it allow... If I make these changes now, will it allow them? Might as well bring off... Let's spare some of these guys. Are these changes going to come through now? Here's Cohen. Takes a shot. Atabolo. Welcome in, Llama. Lovely to see you, my dude. You have arrived at a very, very interesting time. We are down to 9 men. It was bad. It was bad when we lost our first player. Monterisi scything down the player. Then mere seconds later, we went down to 9. How are you doing, sir? Is everything looking set for Friday evening? Now, thank you very much for the shout out, Crobbo. You will see that there is a lovely, lovely little heart appearing over on Twitch. Go give Llama a follow if you aren't already. He's going to be celebrating 2,500 followers this Friday from 11 a.m. British summertime. It's going to be a marathon stream, maybe a full 6 hours. So Kokusu asks, do you have any go-to signings that you do on every save? Not here, Kokusu. So for me, a large part of what we try to do is always have things different, as Pocho calls one back. It's a consolation goal. We score. We've created 1 XG. I suppose that counts for something. So Mr. Grizzly P likes Amar Dedic, likes Juan Pablo Sorin in retro saves. What a player Sorin was. So bad time to come in, says Cronway. It was indeed. We will turn it around. There was echo. Thank you. There is no longer echo because I still had that on. I mean, yeah. 2 red cards in 2 minutes. I didn't even see the first red card. That, no question about that at all. That was a wild lunge from Ilario Monterisi. Absolutely no complaints here. I didn't think that the Bonato one was particularly bad. He seemed to win the ball. He went round the side of the player, didn't go through the back of him. I think we did very, very well to keep Tottenham down to 1.76 XG, but also we just couldn't control Pape Sarr. We had players marking, we had to change multiple players. We're going to have to be angry at them because there's no way we can't be angry about a 4-1 defeat at home. But a reasonable amount of that anger should be on Monterisi and Bonato. I don't get an opportunity to even appeal them. I'm not even allowed to appeal Bonato's red card. Disgraceful. Disgraceful. It's a deep, not even a yellow. Not even a yellow. That challenge from Bonato was perfect. Solid challenge, as Lama says exactly. To be encouraged. It's not a tackle unless you break a leg. They didn't have to bring off any players for injuries, did they? So actually, yep, they are perfectly fine. I'm just double checking. Yep, no players substituted off for injuries. Disgraceful. Disgraceful refereeing. We've been robbed. Absolutely robbed. Well, that's one hell of a way to end the stream, eh? How absolutely horrendous a final game that was. Our first game in the Champions League this season. And we got absolutely routed.
It's not the statistics. It's not the statistics. You tell me, how do you measure somebody that could balance a balloon in a wind tunnel on a needle?
Oh, Llama, you absolute gentleman, you. With your prime as well. That is so appreciated. Thank you so much. And I feel guilty now for saying goodbye as well. And the ref robbed you to have Bezos' money. I mean, in fact, you know what? I reckon that it was Bezos that paid off the ref. He like Amazon probably broadcast this game, and he's probably a Tottenham fan. Bezos seems like the type to be a Tottenham fan. I don't know what that means, but I'm running with it. That was Roy Keane on that tackle on Alfie Inga Haaland. No, that was a bad tackle. Ours were clean and wonderful. I won't have a bad word said against my lovely little Paolo Bonato, who's now going to be banned. Right, so the usual deal, guys. YouTube. I'm going to close off the stream there first. Twitch, we're then going to raid out. I am back tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. British summertime, for the final stage of the league, or the final league stage of the league. I'd love to see you guys there. If you're not interested in that, or you're not able to make it, we will also be back on Friday to carry on with AC Milan at 7 p.m. British summertime. I hope to see you guys there. YouTube, thank you